What's up, guys? Welcome to Spawncast Live. We are live tonight. Last week we had to do a pre-recorded show because we were at too many games, which was a good time. We'll talk about that a little bit here. But we of course have to talk about quite a few things today. So I had to bring on OJ because of course he can talk to us a bit about crossplay as well. Because I did notice, OJ, you had some pretty strong opinions about some of the stuff too.
Yeah.
We'll go through all of that. But yes, we have OJ, PlayerEssence. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Then we have Sean, whose waffles just finished. How you doing, Sean?
I'm all right. I'm kind of sick. I somehow got sick like 2 days after the con because that makes perfect sense. So, yeah, I just got a nasty head and chest cold. So, just been laying low the past day or two. But yeah,
somehow you get sick after the convention.
Yeah, like people thought I was sick on my videos after too many games, but I just didn't have my voice. Like I felt fine. And then Wednesday I was doing my Patreon call. I was like, man, my voice is so scratchy after it had already like healed from then. And then Thursday morning I was just like boogers. And I was like, fuck.
Sean, I told you to stop going on that Tinder app, man. I told you to stop going on that app, bro. The crazy things be happening with you. So, I mean, I ain't gonna say nothing else for that.
He blew his voice out at too many games, man. You should have seen this guy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It was a weekend. It was fun though. It was fun.
For sure.
And then we have Max, Dreamcastguy. How's it going, Max? How was your how'd your
he's talking, but
Mike's
can't hear him.
He was just Mike's a bit ago. Did he mute himself on accident?
His mic might be disconnected.
Well, let me go to Evan. Evan, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right.
You got the zoom out on that camera now.
Yeah, I put it up and back. I'm trying a new spot.
Okay. Is it you gonna try that for some of your recording too?
No. I'm gonna do some other stuff.
Okay. Evan might be looking at a game some people might be interested in because he has some experience in it. I just sent him the code like 10 minutes ago. So we expect impressions in about 30 minutes now. But he'll probably get a chance to look at that over maybe tomorrow or Monday or something, and we'll see what he says about it. Max, you with us?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay, I just have to switch the webcam then.
Oh, did your microphone stop working?
I guess it just deconfigured literally while we were talking. I've been for the first couple sentences, and all of a sudden this microphone stopped working. Super duper. But hello, yes, I'm here and good, man. It's been a good week for games.
Wait, that's Dr. Pepper #1, Sean.
Yes,
for the show, yeah.
For the show.
I've only had like 4 today because
My
a
God.
lot of
It's a light day for you.
Sean, man. There's this thing. It's like if you click above your screen, it's called a mute button. You just hit that real quick.
No, it's better, man. We hear them clip open. Yeah, man.
I didn't think of that.
It's part of the experience.
right when Dreamcast dude is talking, it's like. So I just found that funny. No, but I guess
so rude.
Mistakes were made.
Part of the experience.
No, I think you're right. It's part of the experience. I need to shut up. I'm a guest. I'll just shut up now.
Oh no, it's fine. You know, the banter with Sean is good. You guys had Sean on the show in spirit, right? Earlier.
Yeah, we did. Sean, just to let you know, the last, I would say, half of my podcast that I did was literally, oh my God, it's Stevie Richards. Like just a bunch of different times just talking about you. Not bad, obviously, but just bringing your name up in random various times of Stevie Richards and stuff. So there you go.
Catchy.
It's become a thing in the village, by the way. So
nice.
Yeah. You're on like the Mount Rushmore of like the different ninja, like the Hokages. You're there. You're there too with me, man.
I nailed it.
Yeah.
So, Evan, I thought we'd try something different. I thought we'd start with a Discord question before we get into it. And I want to while you're pulling one of those up, I'll let people know we went back to this format because we're going to work on the format we had before that was like static and had the chat and everything on screen. We're probably going to work on that this week coming up. So we're back to that next week going forward.
Yeah, that was a little thrown together. That was for our E3 thing, and we just decided to use it. So we're going to work from that. It'll be good.
So yes, we'll be back to that, and hopefully we'll have it all nice and pretty looking and everything next week. But Evan, I thought we would try that this time. I thought we'd try starting with a Discord question to get started before we talk about some of the news and games and stuff we've been playing.
All right, because we only have the 4 because we have the cutoff date now. But simple one, I guess. It's a little bit up in the air. Can you speculate on possible surprises Nintendo might bring us by the end of the year? That's from Geek127.
Geek127. Well, I think they're going to have a couple of first-party games. I would like to think that Star Fox game is going to be shown before the end of the year. which would be funny because that means that Retro Studios might not need to be at next E3 if it releases before next E3. So it means that they would still not be at another E3. But that's what I'd like to see, is that, or maybe they show more of Bayonetta 3 or Animal Crossing or something. They're gonna have a direct at the end of the year. I think we all know that, a fall direct or what, a winter direct. That, and maybe a couple of we know Panic Button's showing something in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that because honestly, after Wolfenstein, after playing Wolfenstein, especially that Manhattan level, I was like Fallout 4. You know, I got that Fallout vibe from that level, and then Bethesda came along and they were like, no more old ports, and I was kind of like, oh. And I assume it's going to be a Western game because of, you know, how they operate, but yeah, I don't know what they're going to show.
I think stepping away from the game side, I think hardware side, I predict that just to make sure they dominate, since they have such high sales goals, I would not put it past them to do some sort of special bundle deals like crazy towards the end of the year. I think they're probably going to try and do, if they don't do a Switch markdown, they may do something where if you buy a console, you automatically get like a $50 eShop gift card, or all sorts of things where if you buy a game, you get a free game, like just slapped in, not even like a pack-in, literally just try and bundle stuff. I think that Nintendo is trying to make sure they're the top of every single list for probably October, November, and December. So I predict that they're going to see a lot of bundles just kind of thrown together to make sure they're shipping.
I hope there's a special edition Pokemon bundle where they actually change like the color or do some inscribing on the actual system itself, they did with that Labo system. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Even if it was very limited edition, because you know the Splatoon 2 Switches were pretty limited, but man, those were Japan only, right?
What, that Splatoon 2?
It came here.
Yeah, it came here. Yeah.
It came to Walmart only.
Yes. Yeah, and those things evaporated so fast. But I imagine we'll probably see a lot of that. Because I've seen so many people like the talk about, like, people are finally being like, okay, I have to get a Switch. So I think they're trying to make it where it's undeniable.
Like, what about like a Joy-Cons, like the Pokeball color, like red and white Joy-Cons?
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
That'd be kind of dope.
I'd be all for that. Do something like that, or like I said, if they take maybe a Pikachu or even an Eevee edition Switch with like their an inscription to them on the back, kind of like what they did with that Monster Hunter one.
Pikachu edition would take over eBay.
Oh man, that would be crazy.
For $1,000.
How much money? Yes, I know. That would be that'd be crazy. Those things would probably be going for like $500-$600 on eBay.
Yeah, gosh.
That'd be nuts.
I do want to speculate on a potential 2D Mario game. I think we might be seeing something like that.
I keep seeing insider people and stuff talk about a 2D Mario game getting brought up, like a new Super Mario Bros. Or something for Switch. I keep seeing, Chad Sarant brings up the Game Boy Advance colors. There were some good ones. I remember there was an orange one. I remember that got passed around now and then. But I just remember Glacier White and what was it? Purple. Those are the ones I remember seeing.
And the pink, I had the pink one growing up because I was poor, so we got it on discount. And I'd be like, "No, it's fuchsia. This is my fuchsia Game Boy." I literally carry around the box, fuchsia.
I think you're right, OJ. That's a good one to just put out a new Super Mario Bros. Like a 2D one, because those do generally sell like pretty well. And it's Mario. I know there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, it's not 2D Mario. Yeah, but there are people who would probably buy into it. Have we seen it a lot? Yeah, but people would still buy it. And you can do 2D, or you can do a 2-player with the 2 Joy-Con controllers. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think that we might see something like that, maybe.
Well, and remember, we've been hearing insiders talk about forever that one of the test games that they were making for the Switch when they were like doing the internal stuff, they were testing a version of Mario Maker. So it's weird to me that Mario Maker Switch I keep expecting them to just come out and be like, here it is. So, I mean, the fact that still has not shown up is.
They got to break. Mario Maker's got to make the jump eventually. This game is so popular.
Could see it with the online, just because there is a heavy element of online downloading of stuff. So that could be part of the package.
Do you think it would just be a straight up port though, or do you think it would be like Mario Maker 1.5 or Mario Maker 2?
I think it's going to be 99% a port. I think they're going to throw in a little bit of extra and maybe.
I mean, what else can you really do with it unless they somehow went Mario 64 or something with it.
Well, I mean, there wasn't like hills and shit in it. Like there was basic stuff missing from Mario 3 in it.
Like a Mario Maker Plus, I think it'd be something like that. Like because Nintendo doesn't really do just like they don't add anything, or they'll usually add something like a Mario Maker Plus, to where like they add in some extra.
Yeah, they really don't need to reinvent the wheel with that game. Like, the game is going to be popular no matter what.
Yeah, I'm not saying like 3D shit, but like I would like to see hills from Super Mario Brothers 3 in there, and maybe like an additional graphical style, like maybe the Yoshi style.
The bubbly cartoony.
Yeah,
people were thinking about the Super Mario 2 tile set getting added.
Oh,
yeah, that too.
Prince Duval says Mario Maker Odyssey. That might not be for a while.
That would be not ever.
That would be cool. They shut down. Remember they shut down because people, when Mario Maker came out and was blowing up and everybody was loving it, they were like, would it be possible for a Zelda Maker? And they were like, no, absolutely. Like, Zelda dungeons work because they are so unique. Like, you can't just throw that out there every dungeon and be like, here's Dick Dungeon number 4.
Dude, Mario Maker took over Twitch. So, oh man, that was crazy. Twitch was like covered in that.
There's still channels that just play Mario Maker and get millions of views, and they just literally play fan maps all day.
Man, that's crazy. Especially people like to watch people fail on those really hard ones too.
Yeah, some of those levels were freaking nuts.
I would like to see better. Like, I know the online was okay, but I mean, it would be cool if they actually added in some like more online modes and potentially even being able to play with a friend.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool if they added in like an online co-op and they added in like easier ways to share levels and to have levels. Like, I think that'd be cool.
I would race OJ. I'd build maps that are impossible. I'd memorize them and I'd beat OJ and act like that somehow makes me better.
Yeah, I'm not very good. I'm not very great at 2D Mario. I'm okay. I beat all of them. I've done a lot of the extra stuff. I'm not great at 2D Mario games, and I don't like. Believe it or not, I actually don't like Mario Maker. I haven't. I
oh really? Like it's my favorite Wii U game. No joke.
I don't like it.
I'm kind of with OJ on that because I don't like being creative when it comes to like designing stuff. Like
we've seen your Labo video, yes,
exactly. So I can't build stuff. My bookshelf still needs some attention. I'll pay. So yeah, and like I don't know, like there was a lot of fun levels, but a lot of those levels were just like, hey, we're stupidly hard to be hard, or
douchebag levels.
Yeah, or press a button. Like I wanted to see actual Mario style levels, and it's like those always seem to get thrown towards the bottom. The middle ground ones where there's difficulty, but they're still fun.
But it's still super popular, and it's like, man, I mean, you have infinite levels. Then if
absolutely, I'm not hating on the game. I think the game is amazing. I think it's awesome, but it had like to me like the Little Big Planet effect. Like I'll get it, but then like when you play Little Big Planet, people make your levels, and then you play like these levels aren't. Like this isn't good. Like I'm going through endless levels of just like I'm scrolling through and there's just level up to like, is this one gonna be good? Okay, people voted good. I play, man, this is really hard. I'm like, okay, I think I'm done. I just want to play a Mario game that actually has levels designed, for it, and then
with proper game design involved. Like you see all the videos for it online, and it's more like a rhythm game where you're just hitting the button at the right time to get past all the stuff going on. And it's not fun.
Yeah, I just got tired of like trying to find levels that I'm going to like, even though people rate these levels really good, but then I play, I'm like, I don't think that's a 5-star level or whatever. Like, I don't think it's that great. So that's my only reservation about it. So, I mean, but for other people, like I watch Mario Maker on Twitch, watch other people. So it's great to watch. I think it's great for people who are creative. It's just for me, it's just not my style.
Okay. I guess any third-party stuff before the end of the year. We were hoping there'd be something from EA, but EA is probably not going to really do anything for Nintendo for a while. I don't know. Who knows what that relationship's. I was surprised that they even got FIFA, but we'll see. Third party is so hard to gauge because we don't know who would make that big jump. Like no one would have expected Doom and Wolfenstein when the Switch was first announced. So it's hard to say, but I would like to see Animal Crossing. I think that's a good one to just see get announced before the end of the year. And that it sells a lot. Animal Crossing on the 3DS is like what, 12 million for the which one am I thinking of?
The 3DS.
The 3DS. Yes.
3DS, yeah.
Yep. So that just sells really well. But yeah, we'll see where we go from there. So what's everyone been playing? We've been playing this past week and a half, I would say, since we technically haven't recorded a Spawncast since last Wednesday.
I got Ys 8.
Ys 8, okay.
Yeah, I've been playing Ys 8 on the Switch. I streamed it for like 3 hours last night. Had a lot of fun. It's good. It's reminds me of reminds me of like a PS2, like a Zelda-ish type of Monster Hunter, like like the not PS2 in terms of like everything, but just like the style of game that it was. Like you saw a lot of the action RPGs from that era kind of come out and kind of do things like it did. The text and how the story's kind of laid out, but it's good. I really like it. I really do like Ise. It's good on the Switch.
Did you get it physically?
Yeah, I got a physical.
Yes.
I got the last physical copy.
It comes with a bunch of stuff, man.
Yeah, it comes with some cards and a map. It's pretty cool. Like I got the last physical copy. Like I got a buddy that works. He's like, hey man, I'll hold one for you. Like they only got like 40 copies. So because like a lot of people are saying, oh, I can't find I can't find one. I'm like, okay, well yeah, this is the type of game that you pre-order. You want to make sure that you get it. Day one, you pre-order it. So I've been playing a lot of Ys. It's fun.
Yeah, Evan played a lot of that, and I think Sean did too. So
yeah,
I bought it physically. I was going to start it up probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I put 70 hours into it and freaking loved it.
Oh yeah, Max played it too. Everybody, all you guys played it. There, you guys reviewed it.
I'm this week. I beat Crew 2 and thought it was pretty good. It definitely has some pay-to-win mechanics though. They're a little bit hard to avoid. And I beat the Crew 2.
Oh, Crew. Okay.
So I beat Crew 2, and it's pretty good. The biggest thing that kind of annoys me is that you have to go back to the store and buy new cars like all the time, like which is supposed to be exciting, but there's definitely like a mechanic of like every time it's like, oh, you need a monster truck for this next event, go buy a monster truck, and it'll basically be like, all right, it'll be $250,000, which will take you like 20 races, or you could just pay $2 of real life money. And it does that a lot of being like, well, do you want to just do another couple races or pay? So that's annoying.
Man, it's always great.
Yeah. But then I just bought the NES Classic Edition again. So I've been playing that right now. And man, because I got an NES Classic Edition when it first came out. Nintendo sent me one, but I ended up giving it to my friend's son. So now they're back in stock. Rax the Great actually just tweeted me about it and said, hey man, you got to grab one now. And I went and grabbed one, and man, it's awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say what were you playing on it?
I'm playing Final Fantasy right now. I'm playing a lot of Super Mario 3, and Super Mario 3 is one of those games that's so funny. I have every single jump of it memorized, so I'm just blowing through it. And right now I'm doing Final Fantasy 1 again, because I actually own the original Final Fantasy 1 strategy guide from 1987 in mint condition. So I'm actually using the original strategy guide on the original game. It's really fun.
Oh, Wishbone asked why we didn't put Liquid Metal on my Pro or your Pro and 1X consoles yet. Just drop 15 and 20 degrees close to room temperature. Be careful, highly conductive. I don't think anyone would put it on there except for me being crazy and trying it. But honestly, that's really for an i7 UD lid and then drop it on there. I don't know why you'd put it on one of these consoles. But I mean, it'd be a fun little test to do. Maybe I'll order it and try it. We'll see. Thanks, Wishbone. We'll see what we can do about that. Maybe we'll play around with that idea. I've abused my PS4 Pro and Xbox One X enough, so why not? We'll beat it up some more. Yeah, so the NES Classic, it was pretty easy to find this time, right? You went to Target, picked it right up?
I actually took a picture. They had about 50 of them in a giant cage, and I asked the employee, because I walked up, I was like, oh man, can I get one of those? And he said, yeah. I said, is it possible to buy more than one? And the guy said, no. He goes, so we didn't program them to be register locked, so theoretically I could ring up more than one, but my boss told me that if anybody's trying to buy more than 3, they're probably a jerk, so sell them 9. So I bought one, and my roommates got jealous, and they each went and bought one as well.
Oh, nice. Chad was asking Dreamcastguy what your party is in Final Fantasy.
I'm using a warrior, I'm using a black mage, a white mage, and a thief. And the reason I have the thief is even though a thief does lower attacks, they're so fast they can help you finish off dangerous foes.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, you have did you get the Super Nintendo Classic also?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I ended up trading that a while ago though, so I'm gonna have to buy another one. I'm making a deal with myself. If I beat like all the games on my NES Classic Edition, I'll buy myself another SNES Classic Edition.
Okay, very good. And what else we been playing? I got to look at my Switch. I know we were playing Wolfenstein, obviously, and Mario Tennis. Did who else played Mario Tennis? Sean, you played Mario Tennis.
I played Mario Tennis during Wood's stream at Too Many Games. That was really the first time I really played it a bunch.
You didn't buy it yet, or you did?
I haven't bought it yet.
What the? What is going on around here?
I got Wolfenstein and Crash this week, and like that's just been hogging up all my time. But yeah, I want to buy it because I had fun playing it. It was, I whipped his ass live on his own damn stream.
I watched that, actually.
Hadn't he been playing? He was playing.
Dude, I whipped his ass. Like, it was bad. And then I whipped Jordan's ass. And then me and Nintendo teamed up. and I don't think he wanted to catch an embarrassment live on stream. So me and him teamed up against the computer. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It's super fun.
You gotta get it soon. The unlockable characters are based on tournaments, and they just activated the one now for you to get the little Koopa guy, the little turtle.
Okay.
So you gotta play at least one match to get it, and then after the tournament ends, I don't know how they're gonna put it back into the circle or for you to be able to get it at all. So you gotta take a look.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll probably pick that up tomorrow then.
Yeah, I would get it. It's fun. I have to do I'm doing a full review on it actually. I've been working on that for a little bit, but it's fun, but it's also the story is not the best. Like the single player mode. Nah, it's not bad. It's not very good. It's almost like people are saying it's great because the one on the Wii U had none.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, well, and I ask him, well, did you play the Game Boy Color or the Game Boy Advance ones? And they go, wait, there was a Mario Tennis on the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, those were much better than this one. This one's like 5 hours long. You can only play as Mario. You level up your character, but you don't level up your rackets.
Yeah, it's got some good mini games, but like,
yeah, the bosses are good. The bosses are well thought out. I like them. But the rest of it's like, I mean, it teaches you how to play the game. So I guess it's one really long tutorial, which is good. And the story is really weird too. The story makes no sense. But the ending is fun. You know, I mean, it's a good time for what it is, but it's not at all very good. They should have gone back to what they did with the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance, where they had it so that you were an up and coming star in like the sports world, and you went to an academy and you work up the ranks in their tennis program and everything, and then you travel to islands and play against other people, and then Mario is the final boss in the game. That was cool because you actually made your character, you named him, I think, and everything, and it was neat. I would have liked that.
So what you're saying is we need a sequel to Golf Story called Tennis Story.
Yes, if they do it, I'm telling you,
dude, I would buy 8 copies.
What they need to do is they need to go get that developer, Nintendo does, bring them in internally and be like, we need you to make a new Mario Golf or make a new Mario Tennis, and you're in charge, and we'll see you on and needs to be ready for the Switch too.
Just open world 3D, just using tennis balls to solve problems. It'd be great.
Dude, you get tennis, you get hit in. Oh man, that was made by like one guy, wasn't it? Golf Story.
Yeah, 2 guys. Yeah.
Yeah, get him in there. Hire him, give him a team, and go to town.
You could literally just remake that game with tennis balls, and I'd still buy it again. Like killing zombies with tennis rackets. Yeah, tell me, and yeah, sure, I'll pay $60 for that.
Can you imagine what they could do with the IPs that Nintendo has? Because they would obviously use Mario, but what if they use like guest characters from other?
Well, especially because there's like homages to Princess Zelda and stuff in Golf Story. You like run into Princess Peach on one area and stuff. So imagine if you actually could meet Princess Peach out there, or actually go into like a Zelda dungeon and have to freaking beat up stuff with actual tennis balls. That'd be so funny.
Dude, that's a good. Someone else said you could do it. They could make a new Mario Strikers game instead if they want to do it this generation. That'd be cool too if they use those. I don't know. Those people who do Golf Story, they know what they're doing. They know how to tell a story and be ridiculous and fun at the same time and be golf. So yeah, given that I like Mario Tennis for what it is. The mechanics are good. The gameplay is great. Like that is as tight of gameplay they've ever had in Mario Tennis, I would say. And before that, I would have gone with the GameCube. But it's good. But if you don't really like tennis or arcade tennis, you're probably not going to enjoy it, obviously. So yeah, I'd say it's worth the $60 if you're going to play online with it too, though. Don't buy it for $60 for the single player. But did you get a chance to play it, OJ?
I didn't get a chance to play the full retail version yet. I just played the demo that we got, but I'll be picking it up. I've got to actually. I made a rule. I'm like, okay, I got to actually play and beat the games that I've been buying because my backlog goes all the way back to like Xbox, like Halo 5. Like I talked about,
yeah, but dude, you got Ys 8 now, man.
I know.
That's
I'm like
a bit.
I know, and like I still have Horizon Zero Dawn, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna buy Ys 8. I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna cover it, and I'm gonna pick up Mario Tennis maybe after Octopath. After I get done with Octopath.
Oh, dude, Octopath is supposed to be like 60, 70 hours.
I know, but I'm gonna play a lot of. I'm gonna make sure I play. Like I streamed. I'm gonna start streaming more when it comes to just the gameplay, like the single player games. So I didn't pick up Mario Tennis yet, but I'll definitely be picking it. I'll definitely be getting it soon. Like before August, I'll get it. I'll probably get it. I
wouldn't rush out too much, to be honest. Honestly, who knows what sales Best Buy might be running by then? You never know. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get it at some point. Definitely gonna get it. I just gotta play the games that I actually buy.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, I was getting in trouble because they were all like Nintendo sent it, and then Wolfenstein shows up, and then Crash shows up, and I'm like, oh man, oh no.
That's exactly why I didn't play. I didn't get Crash yet. I didn't get Wolfenstein. I'm like, let me just cover Ease. I'll get those games. You know, eventually I'll get those, and I'll cover them. Like you could just play them whenever. People just want to see you play. So yeah. That's my thought process.
Yeah, I like Mario Tennis. I honestly think it's worth a pickup if you enjoyed Mario Tennis on the GameCube and didn't like the one on the Wii U. This one is way more feature packed than the Wii U version. I will say that. And that one was $50 when it came out, right?
Yeah, Ultra Smash was 50, I think.
Yeah. So this is a much better outing from Camelot and Nintendo. So I would check it out. Yes, absolutely. Evan, you liked it too, didn't you? You played it a lot, dude. You played it a lot. You beat that game the second day you had it. Like
at the convention, basically.
Yeah, you beat it at the convention. And you liked it. You've been playing online too, I think, right?
I played a bit of the tournaments, but there's aspects to it that I don't like. Some bugs that I'm starting to notice. I know at one point it shut my gyro off for my shots that I was trying to take. It just shut it off. Definitely was still on when I went into the menu, but it just decided I didn't have it for the fight. So,
what's with the matchmaking sometimes? Did you notice that? I was like, I'm gonna try this online mode out for the first time, and it matches me up with someone who has 20,000 points.
No, yeah, the first two fights I had, it was two people that were 100. So that's basic. It's around where you start. And then they were like, all right, your final fight, 4,000.
Yeah. What? No, I saw this guy is 20,000. I was like, oh no, he just wrecked me. It was crazy. But yeah, I don't know. The matchmaking's kind of all over the place sometimes.
I don't think it has a proper built-in system for that. I think it just finds whoever's close to you and just throws you in a room with them.
Oh man. And look at Avedon saying Octopath going to be the next game I beat.
Hell yeah.
There was an update that they just said that they released where they said it's closer to like in terms of matchmaking. So they did say that they at least tried to improve that from what I understand. So yeah, Mario Tennis Aces version 1.1.1.1.
Man, one of the changes really went Octopath.
Yeah, one of the changes was that.
I'll check it out. We'll check it out.
I'm about to make a video about Octopath just because I'm so hyped about it. I just want to talk about what we've seen of it so far.
Did you roll through that demo to get ready for the full game?
Yes. Yes. And did you see some people cracked the demo and the full game's in there?
Oh yeah. Oh jeez.
Yeah.
So
they're having a little bit of the same problem that what was it Yakuza 6, the Yakuza 6 demo. Yeah. It's supposed to be the first two chapters of the game. People broke it up.
People that hacked their Switch are now cracking it and they're playing the full game now.
Yeah. Apparently
we can't have anything nice anymore.
Yeah, it's apparently if you can look into the code itself, there's basically just like a little tiny code that says stop game here and say thank you for playing demo. And you can just basically turn that off and just walk past it and be like, oh, and here's the rest of the game.
Oh man, that's too bad. Oh well, anyway, I'm excited for the game when that comes out. I'm gonna be playing quite a bit of that. So that'll be really fun. I assume Max, you're reviewing it. I know that, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, you know me. I'm obsessed with obsessed with Final Fantasy, and this feels so Final Fantasy. It's just blowing my mind, man.
Well, if Square would return my calls, maybe we'll review it too.
I'm going to be the weirdo, and I'm going to review Shining instead.
Yeah,
I think
people in chat are asking us all to cover it
because Octopath, like, I don't have a good in at Square, but Shining, I can get that, and no one's going to be talking about it. And I love the demo.
You don't need to talk to Square; you need to talk to Nintendo.
Oh, about Octopath?
Yeah.
Nintendo's publishing that one. So.
Yeah, I specific because I asked my people inside of Square Enix, and they were like, "We really appreciate you reaching out. That's great. We're making money off this project, but yeah, it's not who we talk to. Talk to Nintendo." So.
Okay, there you go. Now I know. All right then. Well, Nintendo likes to send stuff on the day it comes out, so that'll be fun.
Always good. Yeah.
that's why I'm with Mario Tennis. I was like, oh, cool.
Well, and the day it comes out, I'm going to a convention, so. Best case scenario, I should be getting it in a couple days so I can review it on launch. Worst case scenario, I get it and leave town and I play it the entire time I'm at a convention. So either way, I win.
Yes, the special edition looks pretty cool too. So
yeah, I got that pre-ordered though. Wayfarer's special edition.
Awesome.
It looks amazing. They've always done a good job. Like I have like the Bravely Default special edition, and that's like super cool. Like even like. It's like better than a lot of the special editions even today, and that was on 3DS. So I'm really looking forward to just getting that special edition. So
what do we think about who's played Wolfenstein 2 on the Switch so far?
I've beaten it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I might be doing a second run through right now. I cannot confirm nor deny that.
I've watched all of you guys' videos and seen a ton of gameplay on it, but I have not played it yet. But I'll definitely get to it.
Okay. Did anyone play it before? Max, I know you did. I know Max did. You played it on the PS4, right?
Yep, I beat it on PS4. I also have it on PC, but I didn't play much on PC.
Okay. And Sean, you didn't play it when it came out, right?
I did not.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. You probably bought Mario Odyssey that day, for example.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, or several games that overshadowed it because that came in at a pretty low posting, I believe, on the charts. I know in the UK it came in at like number 22 or something. I was like, man,
it's so bad.
Yeah. So I'm going to be curious about this because what's interesting is the Switch version may outsell something like the Xbox version or something, which is very interesting to think about because that's going to make Bethesda maybe look at that and go, okay. So it's out. What did you think of it, Sean?
I thought it kicked ass. Like, definitely, you could definitely tell the indoor environments look a lot better than the outdoor environments.
Yeah.
Especially in a handheld mode, some of those outdoor environments, it's kind of like, but I mean, it's still playable. Like it's not the end of the world, and you're not really in those outdoor environments for too long. But I think it's as a game itself, like I think it's awesome. Like everyone should play it. It's really fun. It's a really fun game. There's a lot of cool little things in there. There's a lot of extra stuff. There's a lot of side missions, a lot of good stuff in there. And I think the Switch version is pretty damn impressive. Like it probably shouldn't, be able to run so well on the system. The frame rate is very consistent throughout. There's really not many dips that I encountered. So all in all, I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Max, what are you thinking?
It's a freaking I don't know what magic wand they waved over the console to make it work. That's kind of how I feel. So I gave it a 9 when I reviewed it, which is only a small step down. When I reviewed Wolfenstein 2 on PS4, I gave it a 9.5 just because it is such a tight, narrative-heavy shooter. It is so fun.
It gets a little ridiculous, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Me when I was playing, I was like, "What?"
It does, but I feel like it establishes a universe. Like, no spoilers to everything, but it gets so insane. But I feel like it makes jumps at the right time in the story that I was able to go along for the ride. I was fully buckled up and ready for the journey.
It's fun though. It's a fun type of
Yeah, oh god, yeah. And super soldiers and stuff, so great. Giant robot, like you literally can run up. There's like robot Nazis at one point. You can literally run up and you just pry their head off real quick with a crowbar. Just So I'd say the only thing that's wrong with the Switch version is it definitely seems like outdoor stuff has a little bit of problems, but I also think there are certain big fights where they purposely just start piling weak enemies on you. And those are really fun shootouts, but man, does the resolution just plummet. It looks like it gets to maybe 360 or 480p.
It gets to 360p according to Digital Foundry. And it's funny if you look around the internet now, everyone's like, well, the Switch version just always runs at 360p. It's like, well, no, but it does dynamically scale down to that, and then I think the roof is 720p. So it's kind of all over the place when it comes to that. But you're right, it does drop down.
Yeah, but it mostly seems like it's just tied to people. So as funny as it is, I almost want to say like, look, if the resolution's bad, kill a couple Nazis and things will look fantastic.
They're messing up the resolution too.
Yeah, damn you, how this start prying heads off.
Yeah, I did notice that because I actually play. When I got Xbox One X, the first game I really started getting back into was Wolfenstein 2 on my 4K monitor, and it is a noticeable difference between the two. I actually mentioned that in my video. Noticeable difference. I actually got some comparison shots from them too.
I did comparison shots too. It's definitely it feels like a matter of clarity. Like it's not so much blurriness. It definitely just feels like it almost feels like you have glasses on when you're looking at it on the Xbox.
That's how I kind of thought about it. I was like, okay, so it's like I have my glasses on here and then I take them off, and then like people's faces are kind of blurry. That's the easiest way to tell, I think.
Yeah.
I think environment, because of the game itself is like gray, right? It's brown and gray a lot of times when you're looking around, and it's kind of it kind of covers that up. But when you see like people's faces and like the real time cutscenes and stuff, you can tell. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think you would buy the Switch version just to play it in docked mode all the time.
Yeah,
you would buy it to play it in handheld mode. Honestly, handheld mode, I think it's actually pretty good. I actually like it a lot as a handheld game. It has save anywhere. So you can literally just hit start and save. And I think it runs well in handheld mode. I actually like it there. But if I was going to play it when I'm hanging out and sitting around, and there are people who never take their Switches off the dock. I know actually some people talk about that.
That's basically me, yeah.
Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just buy it for $30 for like your Xbox, your PS4, your PC. Actually, I think it's $24 on PC right now. If you have no intention of it ever leaving the dock on your Switch.
Yeah, like that was the main thing I said in my review. It's like, do you need to buy this game? Yes, but it's a matter of what system. If you have a PS4 or an Xbox One and you don't really care about portability, just buy it on there. Like, it's cheaper anyways. But if you only have a Switch or you play your Switch mostly portable, then why not buy it on the Switch?
Yeah, like it would have came in handy when we were at too many games. I'd have been hanging out sitting there because the hotel Wi-Fi wasn't very good. But that's a fully single player game and it's portable, and I'd be like, yeah, let me break this out right now, because that's what we were doing later on that night. We were just playing Mario Tennis and stuff, Evan and I were, and I'm like, I could just sit down and play Wolfenstein if I want.
And it's such a freaking, it's such a mindless kind of gritty fun that I feel like you don't get. So it's so fun. Like, the Switch is great, but I feel like the Switch still needs really gritty shooters like that. I especially love it for that. I'm like, I can't believe I'm literally playing a game where it's like, the motion controls are actually pretty tight. And at one point in my video, I literally got out a sniper rifle, turned on motion controls, and I'm just shooting Nazis in the head by wiggling Joy-Cons. And
none of it's censored either. Isn't that fun? Yeah. Like, we were used to that back in the day with Nintendo stuff. It's none of it's censored. It's straight up.
I mean, really, let's be honest though. The best part is the mini game hidden within it.
Yeah, isn't that cool that they have like the
Wolfenstein?
Yep. I thought that was really neat. Yeah, I was just playing around in my video. Of course, that was the whole point, is that the Xbox One is not a portable system. OJ, did you play Wolfenstein 2 at all?
No, I haven't played it yet. Like I said, I just watched all you guys' videos and
did you play it on any other platforms at all? Like when it first came out or anything? I know it was busy then, man.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but I covered it. I'm not the biggest. I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest first-person shooter fan at all.
Okay.
I did play Doom, so I mean, I did play that on Switch, but this one I didn't play. But I covered it. I covered it on the channel. I covered Wolfenstein even back on the PS4 and Xbox One. I covered the original. I covered the original one back in the day, like when that one came out. I covered that one back when I was doing PlayerEssence.com and my other channel. So I mean, I've been covering Wolfenstein. I know what it looks like. I've seen a lot of the game. I've actually watched Let's Plays. I watched Twitch Wolfenstein 2 when that came out. I watched a Xbox One X Let's Play. Pretty much half of the game I watched it and I was like, oh, it's good. So I mean, but just personally for me, I get kind of motion sickness, like first person shooters. If there's ever an option to play in third person, I'll always switch to Paladins. Like, I switch to third person immediately. Just because first person shooters just kind of get me. I'm not really sure.
Flight games kind of get you too, like if they're cockpit view and everything. Do those kind of get you
it might, but I don't play any flight games, and I don't remember that Top Gun never did. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, so I never got sick from Top Gun or anything, so I don't think so. But
do you have a PlayStation VR?
Nah.
Okay, stay away from Wipeout.
Yeah, I don't want anything that close to my eyes. When I play games, I don't want something that close, and that the VR screen is too close to my eyes. I won't put a VR thing on.
Gotcha.
My roommate has been getting me into VR. He has like this $2,000 crazy computer right now, and he keeps forcing me to play VR up there. And one of the things he does to help with my motion sickness, because I get motion sickness real bad, is he'll put pillows around my legs. And strangely, that actually kind of like, it helps you be more aware of where you are physically, and it actually doesn't trip up your motion sickness like as much. So I don't know why it works, but definitely call me old pillow legs.
Dramamine, just take some Dramamine, you'll be all right.
Yes, I do. Actually, I keep Dramamine on my desk because it affects me so badly sometimes, literally.
Don't they have those patches like they can put on that they have it like on the ships and stuff?
No bullshit. My mom swears by the wristband because it's actually pressure point. They're called C-bands, and it's based on a pressure point that causes you to get motion sickness, and it helps a lot.
People were saying Dirt Rally. Did that went on like a Games with Gold? What did that go on? That went on something, didn't it? Am I thinking wrong? I know a Dirt game did.
I don't know, but I kind of want MotoGP 18 on the Switch.
When is that? Did that come out?
Did that already come out?
Yeah, it's like $40, and supposedly Contra Network covered it, and he said it looks like shit in handheld mode, but in docked mode, it actually looks pretty legit, and it's actually fun. I like arcade racing games like that, like arcadey style. stuff. I don't know if I want to spend.
I kept looking at that too. I'm surprised it didn't show up on any of those press outlets or anything. That's weird. I figured that would have been one they would try to get out there.
Because like no one is really talking about it.
Yeah. MotoGP is interesting because people probably would want to know how it plays and everything. I mean, I would.
Right?
You should buy it and take the bullet.
We're in that weird part of summer where great games are coming out, and for some reason, none of the major websites are covering it, and a lot of the big YouTubers aren't covering it. So it's like everyone just takes the month and a half after E3 off.
Yes, Rex, I did play Onrush in the beta. I thought it was fun. Wait, did Onrush come out?
I think I was on a podcast this morning, and one of the guys there was saying that it's like actually like the best game he's ever played.
I liked the beta a lot. This is gonna sound weird. It was almost like Overwatch with racing.
That's what he said. Yeah, he said first-person shootery elements, and I was like,
that wasn't just me, right? When I was playing it, I was like,
yeah, he used those exact words.
Good.
Here, I'm gonna look and see if that's out. Onrush.
So what else? Played Sushi Strikers. I think it's good. I think that is unfortunately the victim of the price being too high for the market and what people's perception is of the game, because the game's good, but it's definitely not made for the Switch. It's definitely made for the 3DS first.
Mm-hmm.
Touch controls, and it's funny. Even on my TV, it's like use your finger to move the sushi around, and it's like okay. So it's one of those things where you have to use the controller to move a cursor around. It's not made for that. We already saw that it didn't chart well, and it's going to be one of those games that I think stays under the radar until its price drops. But it's actually a really well put together game. It just wasn't one of Nintendo's best games.
Is it 60 or is it 40?
What's that? Sushi Striker? I think it's 50. 50.
That's not bad. I might get that for 50. I've been trying to just buy random ass Switch games. That's like my thing now, is to just once a month just buy a random game that I barely heard about. And
I think it's good. I bought it. I bought it $50. I think it's good. I think it's a good game. But I can see why some people might look at it and say, $50 feels like too much. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I'm. And it seems like that is the case.
I paid
right now
$30 for Cave Story physically, so clearly I don't mind paying a little bit for an interesting game.
I would get that one physically. I think that might be a mild collector's piece, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I'm seeing. I bought it digitally because I don't know.
Somebody was saying if you buy it, there's like this special edition keychain in here. People said they're selling this keychain for like $15 separate from the game. It's like, okay, people stop.
You got to get Binding of Isaac physically, dude. That comes with a ton of stuff.
Dude, I'm probably gonna buy that tonight because of your recommendation, man.
Seriously. Like when you get the case, like squeeze it a bit, it's packed. You'll be like, what is in here?
This is heavy. This is literally like probably 3 or 4 pounds. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, but that one, I think they just priced that one a little too high, and the market seems to think so. Like people said that they priced DK too high, but obviously the market didn't think so. But I do think they might have done a swing and a miss with Sushi Striker. I think more people should have picked it up, but
oh, I'm not buying that game. That game can go to hell. No.
See?
That's a $20 game. That's a $20 game.
See?
30 physical, 20 digital.
If Cave Story 30, I think Sushi Striker should at least be 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like look at all the Nicalis games. It should have been priced like one of those. And the Nicalis games kick ass. Like
when you stepped away, we were talking about that.
Oh yeah, I put a hot dog on the grill and I needed a tissue.
He's cooking with Sean Long.
He's got a grill next to his computer. I'm about to buy a smoke.
No, my foreman in the kitchen.
Let me read Kara tickets. I had PSVR and Oculus find the weight of the headset can exacerbate motion sickness. The additional weight combined lag strains the equilibrium. Headsets need to get a little lighter. I will agree with you there. I actually feel like it kind of weighs down on me anyway when I'm using it, but it's tough, man.
I'm waiting for I think HoloLens. If they ever get something like a cool HoloLens, that's what I would want to play, because it's like a scouter, like Dragon Ball Z. It's not like a stupid headset that you put over your head. It's like it's like you can still see other people and like you have that thing being projected. So I'm more interested in that, but obviously HoloLens isn't a gaming type of thing.
You're saying HoloLens, man. I need a holo deck. That's what I need. Right. I need a whole floor to just be a holo deck. I'm in on that.
I was talking to some people who work at Microsoft, and they said that there is tons and tons of HoloLens development always going on, but we never see any of it, and it never even the people working on it don't know what they're doing.
I think they're saving it for probably the next Xbox.
Yeah, maybe. But even the
whatever the
people
next
working
Windows
on it
big
right
update
now,
is.
like even the people working on it right now have no idea what it's going to be. Like they're like, yeah, we have these games made, we have horror stuff made, we have where you can like walk around in like a Halo world and it'll set like waypoints and you do missions and Cortana appears and it's like, but we don't really have a release date or a price or what's it supposed to be.
It's probably too expensive. It's not ready for the mass market. Like
right,
it wouldn't be like ready, and like I guess they probably don't have complete ideas. But that's what I'd be more interested in, more so than like a VR.
Yeah, because HoloLens is like where you could. That's like the mixed reality where you could still see through the headset and see your surroundings. I like that idea where they place things in the room and stuff. That would be cool. Mostly because you can see everything around you. People still say they're paranoid about using VR if they're home alone because they're like, someone could break in, steal everything but the couch I'm sitting on, and then I take the headset off a half hour later, and there's.
I'm a little paranoid. I'll be honest. I'm a little paranoid about just having VR. Like I said, I'm like my daughter. You know, like I just don't feel like doing that. But I think it's cool though. Like I think it's cool. Like I remember there was like a movie like with Sinbad. They were playing VR. What was it like where he protects the president? The president. Daughter or whatever, there was like a VR thing. I used to think VR was the coolest thing when I was a kid. You know?
Did y'all see back when Resident Evil 7 first came out? There's this dude who was streaming it, and he was like streaming it where he had the headset on, like the PSVR headset, and a green screen. So he's basically just standing in the game, and we're seeing what he's seeing. And you see his daughter like walk in, and he doesn't see her, and he's just like, "There's a monster," and he hears the monster, and he's getting his gun out real slow, and he's like, "Daddy!" and he goes, "Ah!" It's
actually really funny.
Oh man, yeah. Kura is saying HoloLens with my Twitter feed. Perfect and sarcasm. You would see a lot of applications with HoloLens. People would be like seriously walking around with like their stuff going on.
I was looking at this VR streamer who programs something that I find really interesting. So he does a lot of VR games, and he programmed it so Twitch chat looks like a giant holographic thing on his arm, so he can actually physically like look at his arm and it tells where it's at, and Twitch chat appears like a wristband, so he can like keep an eye on chat and moderate, like literally tap to my. It's like that's so futuristic. Like man, it's weird.
But it is Sean. I keep telling Sean to go buy PlayStation VR. He won't do it. It was on sale for like $200 like a week ago. I think it was the week of play or whatever it was, day of play. And Sean, you didn't buy PlayStation VR yet, did you?
No, man.
Dude, we talked about it for a while. You were like, I might go buy it. And then like one day you were like, I'm going to go buy it. And then you just didn't.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
I mean, did it go back up in price?
I don't know. Maybe it was like 200 or 250, right? For a little while there. And it came with Doom VFR. You just need to go get it, man. Get the you know what? Get the Gran Turismo bundle.
I think I would like that.
Dude, yeah.
And then buy Wipeout. Wipeout's like one of the best cases for it's like $20, but it's old school Wipeout in VR, and it works really well. That's actually one of the best cases of VR that I've seen so far, is that, because you don't have to move around. You're sitting in the ship, you know.
Right.
But you look around and everything, and you should do a whole video on that. Just like your first, you know what? Don't even try it. Turn the camera on and film your first impression of Wipeout when you first turn it on.
All right.
It's just gonna be Sean screaming like the world is real.
don't even try Gran Turismo. Download Wipeout, but like plug it in and everything, and then try it. It would be hilarious. I would watch that video.
I would check it out. I still want to play. I mean, there's some cool, I'll say VR experiences. I wouldn't necessarily say games that I want to try, like the Arkham thing, the Until Dawn one. Like, I want to check those out. So
the best one before we move on, Beat Saber. That's got to come out on consoles. Beat Saber is like, it's basically like a rhythm game, and there's like bricks coming at you, and you basically have two lightsabers, and you actually have to cut them up to the rhythm, and you have to cut them certain directions. So you end up being forced to do like a dance to the beat, and it's so crazy addictive.
I want to check that Tetris game out too, the Tetris Effect. That's in VR apparently. I'm curious what that's going to be like in VR. So I'll check. That's number 2, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wood was keeping count on you hard last time we were at the convention.
Oh my God. He was like, how many drinks is that? How many smokes have you taken? I'm like, shut up.
I'm not going to count the puffs, jerk.
Oh man. Google. Did you guys see the news about Google possibly doing a console or a streaming service by Jason Schreier? We talked about that. When did we talk about that, Max? This was like the end of last year.
No. It was like 3 months ago. But we talked about that off air. Or if you're talking about the stuff we heard about
with Liam. Yep.
Yeah, that was like 3 months ago, I think.
Yeah, he told us about it, and I was like, oh, okay, because it was in the news about that. And remember, they hired Phil Harrison in January. He worked on PlayStation and he'd worked on Xbox, and people were like, what do they need him for? And everyone was speculating. And then who was it? The Insider? Who talked about that? There was a company that actually said they're working on something called the Yeti, and we actually brought that up in that podcast. I remember that where we talked about it with Liam, and it sounded cool, but it kind of disappeared after a while, right? Like we didn't heard about it, and now Jason Schreier is saying that it is happening, and they are actually looking to acquire studios and talent, and possibly have multiple systems, one being a streaming box, and then one maybe being a system more, I guess, on par with the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro, maybe. And now it's like, Google has the money; they can do it if they want, but should they? And do they have the focus to really do it?
So I reached out and talked to all the people I could about all this, and I'm hearing very conflicting things. Some people are saying they've already purchased a bunch of IP. They're going to have crazy exclusives. It's going to blow people's mind. People are going to have to buy the Yeti just to play these games, and they're going to be must-play games. But then I've also heard the console is crap. I've had insiders tell me the console is crap. Do not get hyped for it. It's meant to be a streaming service, so it can't be that powerful. So I've heard both sides of it, and I'm not sure which direction to believe.
I wonder if there really are just two systems. Like some people saw the streaming one, because if it's a streaming box, it doesn't need to be much of anything. Like it could probably be like this tiny little USB stick thing, you know? Maybe I don't know, but it have to have an Ethernet plug-in.
Yeah, well, it's so, and that's why personally I believe that I believe the main, I'm going to put this giant air quotes here because I'm sure someone's going to quote this at me later. Giant air quotes. I think the main console is going to be the home console that's supposed to basically be like a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And I think the streaming service is going to be the secondary option. Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
One of the main things it talked about in several of the things I've read is that it wants to integrate with your computer if possible. Like literally you plug it into your computer and somehow it makes it where while you're just doing normal stuff, you can stream games through your computer or through your TV. So
what would be fascinating is if they took that streaming service and did something like build it into the Chrome browser. Like your browser on your computer has the option of accessing their marketplace and streaming a game if you want at the time.
That's one of the exact quotes I've read is making it where it can run in Chrome. So literally you could open up a tab that is your Yeti tab and stream a game. And then on your other tabs, you still have the processor of your computer itself running stuff like Twitter and YouTube. So you could literally watch a YouTube video and be playing your Yeti without putting tons and tons of strain on your processor or video card.
Yeah, Dragon Gamer, I did say that. No one is allowed to hit the like button. So don't get into that, okay? Keep the chat clean. We don't need to talk about like buttons in there. Go on, Sean, what are you saying?
If they're going to call it the Yeti, they need to have Tony Schiavone come out from WCW because there was a character called the Yeti, and like he was supposed to the Giant was in the ring with Hogan. He was giving him a bear hug, and the Yeti was supposed to come out. And as first off, it's a mummy that was supposed to be a Yeti, but whatever. But like as he's coming down, Shivani's like, the Yeti! The Yeti! So every time anyone says Yeti, I always think the Yeti! And so like they need to do that.
Okay, Sean, they should put you in charge of their marketing department.
I mean, it'd be better than what Atari's doing. Jesus.
Oh man. Went there. So here's the thing though. People always say Ouya 2.0 about this. The one thing I'll give you Google is they're much smarter and they have a lot more money.
Yeah.
So
billions.
I wouldn't compare this at all to Ouya. I would compare, like, think about what Google could do if they really, you know, what kind of companies they could buy if they really wanted to make a splash getting into the gaming world. Unfortunately, Ninja Theory got bought by Microsoft because I was like, man, that would have been an interesting purchase to announce. You know, been like, we got Ninja Theory, but who else? Who do you guys think they could show up and buy?
Anyone.
Well, so they could buy anybody. I have a theory, and this is just my own speculation. This is not based on any of my sources. I have a theory that they're probably going to try and buy some IP. I have a feeling they're going to buy some studios and they're going to try and buy some IP separately. So I think they're probably going to approach and try and buy stuff like Twisted Metal, like stuff that's not making a big company any money anymore, that they're literally just sitting on, and just go to them and like, look, I'll buy Twisted Metal, the name off you. I personally think, and this is a full theory of mine, so don't attribute this to anybody else, but I do think that they're probably going to try and buy somebody like Konami. I'd actually
what about
money?
Wow, someone just said Sega in the chat.
Sega maybe.
Would Sega let themselves be bought by Google?
Well, somebody has already. I mean, it's not up to Sega; it's up to Sammy.
Yeah.
It's Sammy Sega. So Sammy would have to. Sammy would have to allow it to happen.
It's hard to put a value on Sega because of their IP.
Well, isn't
Atlas
here's the thing about Japanese companies? Don't they have, like in Japan? Don't they have some kind of thing where like a foreign company can't come in and buy? There has to be some serious stuff to make that happen, right?
Yes, they actually do, and the investors and the shareholders. It's also with like the investors and the shareholders, in addition to Japanese laws. So you can't just like bust down the door and like chop the desk in half and start saying, I want Sega. You know, if you're an American company, you know.
So OJ, is it something where like everybody has to unanimously? Is it where everybody, like the presidents have to be cool with it, the investors have to be cool with it, and then it also has to like pass a law?
It has to pass. There's certain laws that I know for a fact that come to an American company buying a Japanese company, which just doesn't work. And yes, because like Microsoft was inquiring to buy Nintendo at one point, and all the shareholders were just like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, we're not going to do it. Even though Microsoft could have bought Nintendo, you know, for whatever price they were trying to get them, they did inquire about that. But it's not as easy as just walking in and buying like you can for an American company. But to kind of go into your point, I think like Insomniac might be one of those companies that could be purchased.
That would be nice.
By Google, because they're still a lot of people don't understand that Insomniac is actually an independent. They're an indie, believe it or not.
Yeah, they're small. Yeah,
they're just well in terms of. Like compared to like real indies, they're obviously like a lot bigger. I think they have about 100 employees at Insomniac, or a little bit more than that. But like they remind me of like a Western Platinum Games, you know, or something like that, where they get a lot of big companies they get to make their games for them, you know, and they're always hired. The Sunset Overdrive or Spider-Man, whatever the case is, you know, that we've seen before, Ratchet and Clank. But yeah, nobody owns them, so I think Insomniac could be one of those. You know,
that's a good one. They could do that. Apparently, they're also hiring individual developers, and they're trying to build, I guess, an internal studio for themselves.
They do. They had a game published by GameStop. I forgot what game it was. There was a game that they made internally that was published by GameStop. I forgot what it was called though.
I don't think someone said Ubisoft. They can't buy Ubisoft because Tencent owns part of them, and Tencent wouldn't let Google take them because Tencent has plans to swallow up Ubisoft in 10 years.
I just want to see. I want to see him scoop up. What's his name? Because he's not working. The guy who did the Bioshock games. That dude's just been sitting around. I'd love to see him.
Levine. I think he actually is working. He has a team.
He is, but he's been working on a small. What by his terms, a small project now for like 6 years. We haven't even seen a trailer. Just scoop up by him.
THQ Nordic. That's an easy purchase if they wanted to make that happen. Team 17.
Kevin Levine has I don't think he actually has any passion to really create as much anymore after they bought out his original company. Like he made all his money. He's like, I'm good. Because like, I mean, obviously he was like one of the hottest developers out there when it comes to like what he's done with BioShock, and everyone's talking about Ken Levine. And then after, they kind of got rid of his studio that he had, he's like, all right, I'm done. I think it was Irrational.
Right.
They sold off. He's like, all right, and we have literally heard like nothing from him since then. So I don't think he really has much. I don't know how much motivation he has to even create since he has so much money.
Okay,
that's just my opinion.
It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of splash they would make and who they'd be able to actually purchase and bring in, or even make. You can even just make deals. You know, you could get a company to build something for you if you really want. Mercenary, but you should try to build internal studios if you're going to be serious in this environment. I mean, Microsoft learned that the hard way. So, and they technically fixed it. So there you go. We'll see next generation.
The biggest thing here is that Google has the number one thing that's important, which is enough billions of dollars to weather the storm. Like you have to be able to like, I'm really fascinated. I've been reading a bunch of books right now about the Atari Jaguar. And I find it very interesting because that thing had a lot of very smart hardware in it and it had people backing it. But they just didn't have enough money at that time to let it sit on shelves for a while. So unfortunately they had to pull it before it could really get that grip.
Yeah, that's the thing. Google has a lot of money. They can do it if they want. And they also have an already pre-built install base if Google Chrome can use their streaming service. And that would be interesting to see, because as you see, who you call it, East over at Ubisoft wants streaming to happen sooner than later. He said this is going to be the last generation coming up where it's going to be local consoles. That's off to me. Well, that's really off to me. I think it's been a while before that happens, but he seems to want it to happen in the next decade, which is crazy to me, to be all streaming. I don't think we're not even close with our internet.
No.
So we'll see. Also, what will be interesting is if Google really does get into the game streaming service and the business, they're smart enough to try to come up with better algorithms and actually make it so latency is very low. So that'd be fun to see too. So I hope they at least jump in and do something. Also, hey, more competition. Why not? Why not? It'd be cool to see. So, okay, Evan, you want to do another question from Discord?
Yep, got another one.
What we got?
Got 3 more, but we'll just do this one. Sure. Lincoln Q goes, do you think Spyro will come to the Switch? Will it depend on Crash's success on the Switch, even though they're made by different devs? I think Crash will sell better on the Switch than Xbox One or PC. Or do you think Crash will sell better on the Switch than Xbox One or PC?
Yes, I think it will sell better on the Switch than to an Xbox One or PC. Definitely PC. I feel like PC just, man, so much stuff gets buried on Steam. It's so tough on Steam. It really is. Whereas on the Switch, I bet you, I haven't even looked, but I bet you Crash is like up in the sales charts on their, on the eShop thing where it's like top selling games. I bet you Crash is somewhere in there.
I'm pretty sure it's the top selling game on Amazon right now.
There you go. Yeah, so it's very clear that the Switch is selling games well. So and Xbox, I feel like the Xbox at least do okay. I think PC will be last, and then Xbox, then Switch.
I think I'm going at this from a technical standpoint. I didn't know this until just a couple days ago. I was reading about how they actually had to completely remake every single scrap of code for Spyro. There is no original code that exists, whereas Crash was built on the original PS1 framework. They just built a new game on top of it. So I think since they've had to completely remake every single part of it, it'll be easier to port it to every console. So I think it'd be weird if they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Wasn't it Nintendo or Nintendo UK that accidentally put on their site Spyro? Yeah. They're probably working on it, and it probably will be a game that comes out later on, just because they're working to port it, like kind of how Crash came out. Well, Crash came out because the contract that they had, time exclusive. But this one I think is more so. I mean, you're saying, Max, they had to rebuild it. Right. Yeah, it's completely from scratch. Like there was no Spyro; they had to remake Spyro. So more likely, this is gonna be one of those things where it comes out, 5 months later or something.
I could add a little bit to that because we have Jordan is kind of a regular on my podcast, and he talked about that. Apparently, he did talk to some of the guys, and essentially, what he was told is that yes, it's going to come, but they wanted to make sure, like, kind of to go with Dreamcastguy was saying, they wanted to make sure that they made the best possible game that they could make instead of taking resources off of it, just because they were redoing so many different things. And once they're done with that, then they're going to get working. So Jordan says at the latest mid next year, at the earliest maybe end of this year or early next year. So that's what Jordan says, and he's literally Spyro. So
if there's one person that would know, it's him.
Yeah. I could see them trying to get it out for December if they could, but if not, they might try to make it like a February or March release or something. But I'm sure they would love to get it out in December if they could.
Yeah,
obviously for monies. But I think it's coming. I do think Crash is going to sell the best on the Switch, though. I don't think the Switch version will outsell the PlayStation version, because that one sold like crazy in Europe and everything.
Yeah, for months.
Yeah,
months.
But I do think it'll do well on the Switch. I think it'll do better than the Xbox and the PC. Unfortunately, like I said, the PC just is at a severe disadvantage with Steam right now. And the Xbox, I'm trying to think how much that Xbox crowd is really going to want Crash. I think people will buy into it, but I don't know if it's going to be like how the PlayStation fans celebrated that game because it was a PlayStation game, And I don't think it has the same history with the Xbox fans.
No.
So even Nintendo fans are probably like, cool, Crash. But Xbox fans are like,
It ain't no Super Lucky's Tale, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's really funny. I actually did not think that game was terrible. People really hated that game. I did not think it was that bad.
It's garbage, yeah.
Am I the only one that played it?
I played a little bit because it's on Game Pass. I messed with it. I actually thought it was like watching paint dry.
You know, that company sent me so many codes to give away too. I was like, oh man, this is not going well for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I actually thought it was all right. It just didn't have any personality. That was his problem. The mechanics, like the controls and stuff, I think were fine. It wasn't memorable.
Have you seen Tunic?
Yes, that actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Tunic feels like what something Super Lucky's Tale should have done, which is like play on something but twist it up enough that it feels fresh and new. And
what they should have done with Super Lucky's Tale is had him crack out like a liquor bottle right in the beginning and just be like, "Oh, this is Conker's Bad Fur Day 2."
Yeah, it's called Lucky's Bad Story.
Yes,
copyright.
I think it was too cutesy for its own good. That game probably would have done better on a Nintendo platform. That game would have done better on the PlayStation than it did on the Xbox. The Xbox sort of has that, that manly vibe to it.
Yeah, but Evan, I would expect, like we were saying, there you go. Jordan has the lowdown on that. Probably later on this year or mid next year, latest.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool, very good. So, all right, let's get into crossplay here because this is a mess. This whole crossplay thing is a mess. And you said we have 2 more questions, right, Evan?
Yep, 2 more. We should have time.
Cool. This crossplay thing is a mess, and I knew it was going to take a little while. We still have the crossplay to talk about, and we still have this interesting comment from Nintendo's new president about the 3DS to talk about. So, crossplay. There was more news today about crossplay, where we find out that Sony is not happy or not interested in Fallout 76 having crossplay. So Todd Howard's like, yeah, Sony doesn't want to do it, so we're pretty much not doing it. Fans not happy. It's a whole thing. We actually were not around really for crossplay last week, if you remember this. And since the last time we recorded a live Spawncast, it has gone from 0 to 100, just like that with crossplay. It's all over the place right now. So what do you guys think about this whole thing with crossplay right now, where Sony does not want any part of it? It seems like developers are not happy with Sony either right now because crossplay helps the developers. I'm not sure if a lot of people out there like chat and everything know that developers want crossplay badly because all it does is give them a larger audience for one pool of players. So like no one system, like if Lawbreakers was on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, and they all had crossplay, it would have had a better chance than it did.
It also has a chance to up units sold per individual. I mean, if I'm playing a really nice game on my PC and then I want to go somewhere and I'm still playing it on the Switch and it works across all that, it just works.
Saw that with Fortnite when we were up at Too Many Games. Absolutely.
More and more, I think that this comes down to Sony is being greedy motherfuckers right now. Sony makes a lot of money on their PlayStation Store, and all the numbers I've read is that they're making more and more and more money through the PlayStation Store. Like, their cut isn't bigger. It's just that 60% of every single thing sold on the PlayStation Store now is digital content, which is a nice cut for them. So all the millions of dollars of V-Bucks that are getting dumped into Fortnite by people like myself included, that all goes to their piggy bank. By not allowing crossplay, they're making it where if you want a costume in Fortnite, you have to give Sony money no matter what. And I feel like this is just their way of being like, we're going to hold that as long as absolutely possible and get the biggest pile of money possible before we're like, okay, now we'll allow it.
So we're talking. You're talking about them locking down third-party accounts, right?
Yep, I definitely think that's why cross progression is the biggest thing.
Yes, yeah, that is. I almost take that like the whole Fortnite situation, like to the side of crossplay because I see that as being pretty anti-consumer, pretty low down about that. It's like that's tough because Sony is technically holding an Epic account hostage, right? And it's your Epic account, but Sony is saying you can't use that Epic account anywhere else but Sony, the PlayStation 4, and PC.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Because I think crossplay is awesome. I love it. I like, being able to play, but I don't think Sony needs to bow down and do this because basically I don't know. It's sort of, I still view companies as competition. And I like when they work together, but I still do see that competitive aspect. Sony has no reason, in my opinion, to bow down to this this crossplay thing and allow crossplay and say, yes, you can play your game on the Xbox. If I'm a business, I want people playing on my platform. I want people playing games on my platform. So I understand from a consumer side of things, it's shitty, but from a business side of things, I sort of get it.
Well,
but hold up. But here's the problem: they hold your account hostage.
Well, I mean that's bullshit. Like the Fortnite thing.
I agree with you in terms of like the actual like crossplay. If you don't want someone PlayStation, you don't want your people playing against these people over here. Okay, whatever. You know, that's that. But like John was saying, the whole holding your account hostage, and if you've played, it blocks it, locks it down. Can't move it. You don't even have the option to take it back. Like, okay, well, maybe I don't want to play on yours. It locks it on there once you've played, from what I understand.
Yep, it's a permanent lock.
It happened to my account.
Excuse my French, but that's bullshit. You know, I don't customize, but that's complete BS when they do that. That's when it's anti-consumer. That is a real anti-consumer practice, and I don't get worked up over these Sony, Microsoft, and stuff much, but that got me worked up because that is completely, that's not trying to be competitive. That is just flat out anti-consumer. Well, that's the issue I have.
To RGT's point, I definitely think a big part of it is the fact that they don't need to play nice because there are 80 million PlayStation 4s out there. So literally, even if you added together all the Nintendo Switches on top of all the Xbox Ones, it still doesn't equal the PS4s. So they're not interested to be like, yeah, our servers are full enough. Like, true, we might make a little bit more money if we cross play, but no, we're just going to not play nice.
Okay. Is it weird to you guys that about 6 years ago, Microsoft didn't want to do crossplay with Sony, but Sony wanted to do crossplay with Microsoft in defiance?
Because Sony's network was getting hacked. It was still so network was so bad. I played the PS3, predominantly played PS3 games. PS3 was not good online. It was not. It was always getting hacked. It just wasn't good. So if I was Microsoft at that point, I'd be like, you guys aren't investing enough. And like I said, the only issue I have is the whole blocking the Epic account things. Now, the problem with this though is that this arrogance can lead into problems next generation. I think that can be an issue. That's
the biggest issue. Yep.
When people start thinking, okay, well, what if I want multiplayer games? Like, I'm not buying like My Hero Academia. Like, I'm not buying that on PlayStation. I'm just gonna get an Xbox version of it, you know? Because what if there is crossplay at some point? See, like the seed has been put in people's heads, like, well, multiplayer, maybe it'll be better to get it on Xbox, or maybe it'll be because like I might be able to play with my Switch friend or this other friend. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a bigger pool of players. So that's all fine and dandy now, but let's wait and see. That's why I think Sony, I've said this multiple times, I think Sony will fix it by PS5.
I think they have to, right?
Yeah.
Like, pretty much. And how terrifying is it now if you sign into your PlayStation 4 and you get a new game and they have you do a third-party like sign-up thing, like on your PlayStation 4? You're like, wait, is this going to get locked to my PlayStation?
Exactly. Especially if you want stuff to transfer over. I get it from Sony's point of view. I get it. There's a business side of it, but locking somebody else's hard work, which is Epic, did all that. You did nothing. You did absolutely nothing to make what Epic made, and you locking that to yours, that goes a little bit beyond your reach, you know, in my opinion, at least.
It's very weird. They should be very confident about that. They should say, well, it doesn't matter. We're going to have the most sales on our platform.
Well, especially because now we're getting that special
they're getting a special edition.
The Fortnite PS4 is about to come out.
Yeah, a lot of people. I would say the PS4 probably has, and I don't really know how many people play on PC. Out of the consoles, probably the most people who play Fortnite are on the PS4.
Probably most people play on PC, I would think. Fortnite, probably most people would play on PC, and then PS4, and then Xbox One, then obviously Switch.
I would say out of the consoles, though, you're right. PS4 is probably.
I don't know how many, because I know a lot of people play on mobile. Apparently, this is like a revolution at schools.
Yeah, mobile horrifyingly huge.
I'm so happy I missed school when all this was happening. You know, I'm happy that when I was in school, flip phones were like, whoa.
Yeah, like because I have a couple of teachers that I know, and they're up to their necks in Fortnite problems at schools. Yeah, so like instant Saturday school. If
let me tell you, when we were in school, we had Game Boy Color problems.
Damn right, damn right, we did.
Screw all that.
I used to play my Game Boy Color under my desk, legit, like literally grind in Golden Sun.
I never did that. I didn't want to get in trouble, but I did play. I used to play Game Boy Advance a lot.
We used to have. I remember elementary school. We used to have Tamagotchi problems.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What was the pocket Pikachu? We used to walk around and just shake it because it was even better than just walking. So you just literally, you'd see kids standing around talking like, "Hey man, how's it going? What are you eating for lunch?"
We're gonna have
like,
some Pokeball Plus problems.
Like these guys now are having issues with Fortnite in their school. It's like I could not imagine any of that. This is crazy. I'm glad there were no real smartphones when I was in school, or I would have probably hated it. Oh man, that'd have been so bad. And social media would have been terrible if I was in high school with that.
Oh, I know.
I feel bad for all kids in high school right now with social media.
I feel horrible for the kids because social media started creeping up when we were at the end of our high school.
We had MySpace.
Yeah, we had MySpace, and that was already caught. I already wanted to slap a few people because of that. So I mean,
forums. I used to troll on forums all the time, and I had an early digital camera at one point, and I would take silly photos and post them. Like people would be having like a really serious debate, and I would post a picture of me like licking ice cream at a Master Chief doll's ass crack, and just post that on there. That's what these were like. I'm so glad all that stuff's gone now. Like, man, I'm glad the early internet just disappeared.
Chad Sarant said, link cable Pokemon trading at lunchtime. It was lunchtime and it was on the playground, man.
Yeah,
it was, man.
So I moved. I went to 10 different schools growing up, and every time I went to a new school, I'd literally just find the Pokemon kids like, "Hey man, I got a link cable. Can we be friends?" And it worked.
You had to watch them though. Sometimes they'd not trade you what they were supposed to be trading you, and then they would run off with your Alakazam.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hey, you had to trade Kadabra to get Alakazam, dude, or you had to trade Graveler to get Golem.
Yeah.
Who was the other one? Oh, Machoke to get Machamp.
I had to chase a kid down because of that one time.
Yeah, so, man, I'm telling you, it was real out here in the real world, man.
I chased him down and tackled him. Promptly got suspended for 2 days.
Nah, man, they had the getaway bike ready. So they jumped on the bike and they were gone. And I was like, there goes Alakazam. I guess they would catch another Abra and do it all over again. Haunter for Gengar, that was the other one. Dude, they were ready, man. They had that thing planned out like a bank heist.
Pokemon cards. You ever almost get Pokemon cards, Jack, too? I actually had to. Actually, a couple people got away, but I got a couple. I got my Blastoise got jacked one time, too.
You had to be careful with those, man. You had to be careful. You had to keep them in the sleeve, and you never took them out unless they were serious. And
that's actually what got that banned from my school. Is we used to bet the cards for if you'd win or lose, and it pissed all the parents off.
Dude, what we used to do to make sure people weren't scamming Pokemon is you would hand each other's Game Boy and then select the Pokemon you were supposed to trade, like basically like an arms deal. It'd being like, all right, open the case. All right, that's legit. Here's your Alakazam.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was good. Like, if you're that kid with a Charizard, don't ever bring Charizard to school. What are you doing? The first edition Charizard or whatever it was?
Oh yeah, first edition Charizard.
Like $100-something card or something.
People were putting fakes out there too, though. Like that was one of the big problems with the first edition Charizard. There were so many fakes.
I remember I went to the beach one year when I was little, and they had them in the claw machine. And you know, the background of the holographic part was supposed to be like flames. It was like red or whatever, and Blast was blue. They were like sparkling gold backgrounds for the holographics. I'm like, I just got a legit Charizard, and no one wanted to tell me the truth. They were just like, oh yeah, good job. Super fake looking cards.
For a short time, I was selling bootleg God cards in Yu-Gi-Oh for like $6 a piece.
I took them to our local date. We had Days and Nights had Evan. You know what I'm talking about, Days and Nights.
Yeah, it's right down the road from me.
Yeah, they used to have gym days for Pokemon cards when Pokemon was like super hot.
They still do, man.
Do they? Well, it was really popular back then. Like really, really popular. Like you'd go there, you'd win, you'd get badges. And I had my fake cards and I tried playing. I'm like an 8-year-old kid, and they took it and they cut it in half with scissors.
Oh my gosh.
Because I had a fake Charizard
on here.
It was like but it was obviously fake. If I looked at it now, I'd probably do the same thing to me. Like, you little 8-year-old kid, we trying to do with this Charizard. But it was so funny now I look back on it. But I think the guy gave me a booster pack because he felt bad for me. But it was great, man. They were serious back then with the Pokemon cards, dude. It was serious. Oh, yeah. It was some serious stuff. So we were talking about crossplay, weren't we?
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Well, like I said, sometimes it happens. Like my conversation went to Stevie Richards somehow, and we were talking about something completely different. So it happens.
So crossplay it's interesting. What do you guys make of the Nintendo Microsoft relationship right now?
I mean, that's an easy relationship. Nintendo has a kind of weird online that's still not like quality, and Microsoft has a smaller player base than like a lot of the other systems. So it's almost like standard. There was almost no thought behind it. They might as well have just done it.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get to a point where more than likely the Switch will pass the Xbox in like a year and a half to 2 years, based on Nintendo's own projections, and the fact that Microsoft has not told us how many Xboxes have really sold. But that's not going to help situations there. But yeah, you're right, Evan. It's easy. I mean, it is easy, right? It's like Nintendo does their own thing, and Microsoft's like, well, we have Minecraft, let's do it, and then give all everyone's trying to be nice to third parties right now, except for Sony because they have them by default. But OG, you're right. It's going to be interesting when the next generation starts, because it's very clear, at least right this second, that Microsoft is playing for next generation. And they are playing very hard for it. We saw all those studios, and all those studios, I'm telling you now, are working on Xbox 2 games right now. I hear there's a Fable in the works. I hear there's a Perfect Dark in the works. I think that's what the new studio is working on, apparently, according to a lot of people. What's that new studio called again?
Coalition.
No, the new one. Someone in the chat will remind me. It's man.
Gary Van in chat here has a really deep observation. He said, "Xbox are hoes. They sleep with anyone."
I mean, yeah.
Well, I think it makes sense though. Like if you're like Minecraft, why would you not want Minecraft?
Jake, can you help me with this real quick? This is from Fuzzy Wobbles about to disappear. They were asking about Temtem.
Yeah,
they're also enjoying the podcast so far. Keep it up. Yeah, I'm curious about this Temtem game.
Yeah, sure, I can tell you guys about Temtem. Okay, so Temtem is a Pokemon clone. It's a very high quality Pokemon clone. Not what you would see, like not ripping off the assets from like another Pokemon game. You know, this is a HD Pokemon clone where it's obvious that they're obviously copying it, but it has all the things that Pokemon fans would have wanted. It has online tournaments, weekly challenges. It has clubs to where you can get with the club. It has a bunch of Pokemon trainers just running around in there. Now, originally they were asking for $70,000. They've got nearly $500,000.
They have $465,000.
Yeah, I've been covering this game for a bit, and it's clean. It's not like you wouldn't expect it to be like a little.
At the visuals on it right now.
This is good.
Nuts.
It's very good. Very high quality Pokemon clone. Like I said, it's not like these cheap ones that you see like, oh, they just rip off like the engines that it's already out there. They made their own thing, and it looks great. It looks great. There's going to be crossplay between Xbox One, PC, and Switch, not on PS4, unfortunately. And they need 500. If they get to $500,000, they'll also have online. What was it?
New tournaments. Yeah, it says right here, new tournaments will be automatically created each week. That's cool.
But they already, and it's funny because I've seen some people try to say, "Oh, well, this is going to be a failure." I'm like, you guys are idiotic. They've got nearly $500,000.
Yeah.
This is not a failure. This is an outstanding, rousing success.
It is. I'll be curious how it goes because I have some Kickstarters end up burning through their cash because game development and business are very separate things, but it has a lot of potential.
I'm wondering if a publisher will come in and help them with this.
I agree. Right? I agree with that, but I think if you look at the projection in terms of what they were trying to do and you look at what they're adding to this, they have a Nuzlocke mode in there. You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that they have like a Nuzlocke mode in there, of course it's coming to Switch. I honestly feel the designs, like it doesn't look cheap. You know what I'm saying? It's a clone, obviously, but it doesn't look like a crappy clone of Pokemon. It looks good. At least it looks like a high quality Pokemon. The graphics look as good or better than Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They look pretty much. I mean, the color palette is a little weird.
It looks. I like the color.
I put a link in the chat, by the way.
There you go. I love the colors are like too blown out, and I love that. It sort of reminds me of like Wind Waker. Of like, look at this weird cartoony grass.
You know what's interesting? Do you see when their estimated delivery is? It looks like it's going to be close to when the mainline Pokemon game comes out.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I said this. People are like, oh well, it's going to launch too close to Pokemon. I'm like, look. They already know they're not going to sell 10 million copies. They're probably not even going to sell 1 million copies or 2 million. But if they sell 100,000 or 200,000 of this, that's a success. It's like they don't need to sell millions of these. They just need to sell. First of all, they're already profitable, but they just need to sell like 100,000, 200,000. This is still an indie game. This is a smart developer at heart. I mean, I think they have about maybe 10 people or something like that. They're a small developer in Spain, but they've created something that I think is, like I said, I don't ever cover Pokemon clones. I never do because there's so many of them, and I'm always just like, man, you guys are just completely copying. But this is something completely different that I'm actually really excited for.
Mr. Snappy Pulse. First off, I like the name. That's funny. And then thanks for the $1.99 in super chat. No message, but thank you. This is an interesting looking game. I might actually talk about this at one point.
Yeah, definitely. Let people know about it.
I'm probably not going to make a video about it, but I'm probably just going to privately back it myself just so I can see how it turns out.
Yeah,
But is it really private though? Since you already told us you're going to back
Hey guys, this is between me, you, and the thousands of people who are not hitting the like button. Okay.
yeah, I actually backed. This is the second game that I've ever backed on Kickstarter. I backed it with the full 60. So
I backed I'm feeling real butthurt right now because I backed the Friday the 13th game, $40, backed it, played it for a year, and now that game is
it's
freaking
gone, right?
screwed.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it's deadlocked forever. Officially, they cannot make new content ever again. They can make patches. They can fix bugs. They're not.
You got your $40 worth, right?
Yeah, right. But I want it to live forever.
Same.
Did OJ, what were you saying about crossplay before I asked you about Temtem?
Yeah, it'll have crossplay. I'll have wait. Are we talking about Temtem crossplay?
No, just crossplay in general.
I don't remember.
Like, yo, Temtem.
We went down Temtem Road. It's over.
Who cares what I have to say about?
I'll check out. I will look more into this Temtem thing. It looks quality. I got to give them credit.
Like how you catch Pokemon, like they catch them like in these cool little cards. It's like when you catch the Pokemon. It looks awesome. It's not a Pokeball, but it just looks really cool. I like the way that you catch Pokemon in the game, and I like how the fact that there's like a bunch of people like going around, like you can challenge people right then and there. It's like kind of like what people have been asking, like, what if they make a Pokemon MMO? Well, here you go. Like you can play it single player too. Like you don't have to play it online. So it's pretty awesome looking. I like it. I'm definitely gonna pay. I backed it, so. Definitely get a copy. I want a physical version.
They're looking to do September 2019. It appears to be their estimated delivery. We'll see. I mean, it seems like they're showing gameplay and stuff, and a lot of work on this. So it looks like they've already done quite a bit.
It's been around for a while.
Interesting too, though. That's a cool idea with that. Crossplay or everything. Yeah, that could be cool. And I'm wondering if they're just going to release it on, I guess, on Steam and everything else when it comes out. So
yeah, it's simultaneous launch, PS4, Steam, Xbox One, and Switch.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll look into that more and maybe I'll do a video on it. We'll see. Apparently, I need to attack this Sega AT Games though first, so we'll see how that goes.
I know I'm the one person in the world that likes it. I still have mine and I still love mine.
Well, okay. All right, Evan. What's another question, man? You want to hit us with another one?
Yeah, this one comes from Snelly. Do you believe Nintendo will hold off putting Nintendo 64 games on the online service because of the supposed Nintendo 64 Classic?
Maybe. Oh, the N64 Classic would be really cool to have. I would like that.
What I would think is
want to buy it. But,
what I would think is because they're not going to put like every N64 game on the Classic. They'll probably hold off putting those games out on the online, but then put other ones out instead.
Yeah, I mean they're going to put any NES games on there, and we have an NES Classic.
Yeah.
So I can see that. What they need to do is figure out how to get GoldenEye on something. That would be a miracle. If they figure that out, people will go crazy.
GoldenEye with motion controls on the Switch. Let's go.
Oh my god, bro! I'm about to nut.
But like if they do like Perfect Dark on the 360 is a really good port. If they do something like that on an N64 Classic with GoldenEye, where it's like higher frame rate, by higher I mean anything higher than 8 frames per second, higher frame rate, better visuals and everything, that could be awesome because Nintendo at least has the ability to put together a really good emulator for it. But oh man, I really hope there's a real N64 Classic out there and that it's going to show up this year. I really want that to happen. But no, I think they will eventually get N64 games on the Switch part of the subscription service because if Nintendo is smart about it, they probably will eventually be able to raise the rate of the online service just from the library being so large of games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Game Pass is $10 a month, and that's also with, Xbox Live. So, Microsoft gets away with quite a bit, but Game Pass is pretty big. So I get why they can do it. I mean, what is it? It's $20 a year for Nintendo's, and it's 20, I think, games we know right now. What if that gets up to over 100? Can they still charge $20 a year for the online service and that?
It is if it's just small work here and there. Like if it's the same team size, I imagine that'll stay 20 forever. I don't imagine it'll increase.
Okay. Well, even if they start putting GameCube games in there?
Yeah. I mean, because the whole thing is that they're just taking the stuff they already own and setting it on there and just taking more and more and more money from us. So I imagine that we'll keep seeing the library updated over time, and the price will stay the same. I think that Nintendo is trying to kill us with kindness of like, you guys asked for this, just keep handing us money and we'll keep making it a sweeter and sweeter deal until 100% of the 20 million Switch owners are paying $20 a year.
Next generation, maybe on the next Switch they raise the price if they have a big enough library.
Yeah,
I don't know. They could do that. I mean, Microsoft did it. They went from 50 to 60. So did Sony.
PS4 did that recently. Yeah, right. It was late last year.
And then people were mad at first, and now no one cares. So there you go. It could happen. What else do we have, Evan? Anything else?
Yeah, we got a Bryochemist with Reggie's comments on loot boxes. How do you think that changes the atmosphere of the conversation? Can consumers feel a bit better after him saying it's okay, especially since he points out that loot boxes have been abused, but say that they are still a viable mechanic that he seems okay with? Or is he not an ambassador of goodwill even on this issue?
Well, I mean, he has to say that about loot boxes because they have loot boxes in their mobile games.
Exactly. I don't understand why. I don't understand what people were expecting to say. Oh no, we hate loot boxes.
Yeah, that would be go download Animal Crossing, but we hate those.
He'd be the biggest hypocrite in the world. So when people were kind of like, "Oh my gosh, Reggie, say," I'm like, "You guys understand that Nintendo already does loot boxes, right?" Like, so yeah, he has to say that. They just need to not abuse it. I don't have a problem with loot boxes. I said this with Overwatch. They just need to. I've said this with many games that have it. Just don't abuse it. Don't abuse it, and you'll be okay.
Okay.
Like don't throttle progression. That's the thing that I hate. Don't make it like Star Wars Battlefront. Dreamcastguy probably had the best review or one of the best reviews that I watched. Why it's so bad what they did. I mean, I know there was other people that did it, but I think your review was really spot on why it's so bad. You know, and you showed video proof.
Yep, I literally got loot boxes and showed them me just being God mode. Like, I should not be able to do this, but I can.
You showed other people because you had the game early. There was other people, freaking Vader out here, just destroying everybody and stuff. Like, at the very, like, the game just came out, and how many hours that you'd have to play the game, you know, before you got all of that. So I think they just need to don't go to that level. I mean, if you're gonna, you know, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the thing about loot boxes is even EA is kind of backing off from it with their non-sports games right now. Kind of they have to, but we'll see if Nintendo. I don't even know if Nintendo would actually ever put that in their first-party stuff because they value their IPs outside of gaming so much now. So I don't know if they really want to put that stuff in their first-party stuff now. But I mean, they definitely want to put it in their mobile because that's what the market does. Mobile.
I have a feeling that it could come like I would think if Nintendo would do it, which people just attach them, it would be like Intelligent Systems. They would do something with the game, like a Fire Emblem, like something, because like some people really hate how Fire Emblem handles DLC and stuff like that. But you got everybody needs to realize too that like Intelligent Systems has their own president and has their own like people that make moves independent from sometimes of what Nintendo thinks. Is Sean about to die? Is he okay?
Yeah, that's it. Sean's dead.
Hot dog, too much.
So Intelligent Systems often does things that Nintendo doesn't do, and Nintendo Intelligent Systems actually has that power to do that. When they were purchased by Nintendo, they still have creative freedom to do that with DLC, because you see stuff in DLC and Fire Emblem that you would never see in other Nintendo games. You know,
yeah, that's gonna be an interesting environment online when that happens. That's gonna be fascinating to see.
Also, like with their games, like Fire Emblem, like Fates, like a lot of people hated how they split that game. I mean, that's just weird. I mean, Nintendo has Pokemon that they do that, but not something like Fire Emblem Fates. Like they split that into 3. You know, like
weird. Yeah, I don't really know why they would. I don't know. I hope the one that's coming out for the Switch is just one game.
Everyone's been asking me about that because they see 3 houses, so they think, oh, it's going to be 3. But Nintendo actually already explained why it's called 3 houses, and it's because the main protagonist meets 3 different people from 3 separate houses that are, you know, from the main line. So,
okay, see, I'm alright with that then. I'm just hoping that I'm just hoping it's just one.
I hope so. Like Echoes, Shadows of Valentia, that was good. Just one first. Although the DLC was expensive.
Then we had a super chat from James Clark saying, do any of you see Sony changing their stance on crossplay access with other platforms in the future?
Well, yeah, eventually.
Yeah, we kind of feel like they have to eventually, like with the PS5, but they're going to kind of roll through the rest of this generation without caring, I think. And then at the end, be like, surprise, crossplay's open, please buy the PS5.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those weird, annoying things in this business, which is where you allow somebody to do something that already exists, and then you act like it's a feature. Like, I think we're definitely going to get that with Sony name changes. I think that's going to happen soon, and they're going to be like, hey, you can finally change your PSN names for like a $2 fee. And it's
I can't believe that's still a thing, by the way. That is insanity. You still can't change your PlayStation name. People have been asking for that for how long?
Why do you stop wanting to change your PlayStation name, guys? Stick with one name and like it.
Well, some of us I made my name back in 2004.
I was gonna say
like
Donkey Smacker 5000.
yeah. Like if I don't want to be the Nutbuster 69 forever. I want to eventually change my name to Dreamcastguy.
Eventually, we all grow up and we want adult names.
I was joking, but yeah, I definitely. I don't know why they don't. I don't know why they don't like change your name.
It's like those people who have like those terrible emails, and then they go into like the business world and they ask them for their email, and they're like, oh gosh.
I still have my stupid call, like because I went to Fresno State, so like I have like Bulldog something. I'm like, I don't go to Fresno State anymore. I don't care. This stupid school keeps calling me for money. I still owe them money. Like, get this stupid name off of me.
Well, my friend, his name is still on PlayStation, and he can't change it. He has like 1 million games on his account, so he doesn't want to change it. But his name is literally something like I Punch Your Mom is like literally his name is I Punch, and he's just like, please let me change this. Like I made this when I was 13. Please don't make me have this name anymore.
Yeah, that's the best part are the emails that are from forever ago. But I can't believe that they haven't given. That's so crazy. It's not that hard. I don't think Microsoft's been doing that for a while. They give you a free one, I think. Even
they said it's deeply tied into the code of the console. Is basically a name check, and so apparently they have to completely reprogram how the online marketplace works from the ground up in order to make name changes possible.
If only they made enough money to pay people to do that.
I know, right?
I think it's also maybe like a cross-game chat with PS3 type of deal. Like no matter what they did, like it was just so ingrained that you can't do cross-game chat, even though you can do any type. You can do a video, you can do a full-blown video chat, you can do all sorts of. The chat was always work. I mean, there was chatting in all the games, but it just cross-game chat just wasn't something they can do. Even though people cried and cried and cried, even when they made PS Plus, you still didn't get cross-game chat on PS3. So it might. I know this seems a lot worse, but maybe it's one of those things. You know, we just got to wait till the next system. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's still, though, it's the PS4 will still be around for a while, even after the new system comes out.
That's true.
And they're just going to have to do it eventually. You know, maybe they've been doing it this whole time. Maybe they've been going back and trying to fix everything, like a Y2K bug, except it's like change your PSN name bug. I don't know.
I remember Y2K. Were you guys freaked out? I remember I was kind of freaked out just a little bit.
My parents went to Roswell, New Mexico, and we literally like got a luxury hotel, and we were in the top like floor. And my parents were like, all right, if the world ends, we'll be able to see it happening. Like, are we really doing this?
Jesus.
Yeah. So I remember my Y2K was literally playing Pokemon Yellow and looking out the windows of this skyscraper, being like, am I about to die? Will my Game Boy explode?
I thought my computer was going to explode. So I was on there. I was playing Carmen Sandiego the whole time. I'm like, come on. Somehow Carmen's gonna flip out and explode or something, you know.
I think one of the big fears was the autopilots and planes would stop working, and
that was the worry.
My that's why my parents wanted skyscrapers. They thought that literally they would watch the planes because Roswell is on such high elevation compared to Texas. They thought they would see planes just fall. It's like, stop being weird old people.
Jesus.
So yeah, that's is that do we have all the questions done now, Evan? Or we have another
that
one?
Covers the questions we had on Discord. I'm seeing people type questions in just for everyone from the Patreon that's here right now. We're doing this so that the questions get cut off the Thursday before the Spawncast, so we can try to actually have time for them, since for the past 60 odd episodes, it's usually we get to the end and then 30 questions pop up in the Discord, and we just can't do that anymore.
All right, what do we have question wise? Evan, anything in the chat you want to bring up?
What, chat in general? I mean, we got Gintoku Cruz dropped $2 on us if you wanted to cover.
Yeah, let's do that. I don't have the video up on here right now, so I'm doing something. I'm doing there we go. Name change loot box. Just hope you get a good one. Yeah, that's a good. I would go. You know what? You can actually do that with Microsoft. You can actually have it choose 2 random words and it puts it together. And I remember one night we were doing that for Halo, where you get those 48-hour cards and you punch them in and you have 48 hours. So we would do that for people who want to play online, because we want to do ranked. We don't want to do social, because social, we want to do ranked. And so they would go through they would hit random and it would come up with different ones. I think the best one was like Rattling Orphan, I think was one we had. But they just take two different words and just jam them together. Yeah, it was great. But that could be a thing. It's free and you got to stick with it. The change is free and you got to stick with whatever they give you. That would be great. So what do you guys make of these comments on the 3DS by the new Nintendo president?
They're very confusing to me, extremely confusing. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on it, but what the hell? Like, he makes it sound like the Switch isn't portable, or maybe the Switch is portable and they need to make a new home console. It's really weird.
I think they're leaving all the doors open, depending on whatever the situation. I think they're basically leaving that open. They're always researching different tech, because obviously after the 3DS came out, they were looking at a successor for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, before the Switch was even out, they were still looking at what they can do with that tech. So I think that they're still leaving that door open, because they start working on the next system as soon as the current system comes out. So Nintendo still had, even though they integrated their R&D developments, they still had people that were working on 3DS too. You know what I'm saying? When that, after the system launched. So I think that they're just keeping that door open. I personally don't feel like we're going to see any type of successor to Nintendo 3DS. And if we do, it's going to be able to play Switch games as well. It's going to be something that can play Switch. They'd have to do it. They can't split their market again.
4DS.
Yeah. The president knows that. I mean, the new Furukawa, he knows that. So I think that they're just keeping their doors open, keeping any line open, just in case if they do want to do another thing, that they'll, they have that there. So that's what I think. That's why I said that, but we'll see.
So during his quote, he talks about why the 3DS is so popular and what kind of gap it fills in their market, and it seems to have to do with pricing. So I think that's really what he's talking about, is if there was no 3DS right now, the cheapest thing they would sell officially at retail, it's easy to find, is the Switch at $300. They like having that $80 2DS system, because there's an $80 2DS system you can go buy right now, and it comes with Mario Kart. That is an awesome package. Sean, you were thinking about just going to buy it just to buy it, because it's $80.
It's $80.
They cannot get. I don't see how they get a Switch down to that price, but that's definitely something they're looking at, because that's helping them sell 2DSs. The 2DS XL is $150, and it comes with an SD card, and it comes with a charger. There are just so many tiers of 3DSs and 2DSs that it's easy to buy one if you need to, and they want the Switch to be multiple per household. But $300 can make it kind of tough to do that. So I do think he's more so thinking about pricing rather than specifically a new 3DS system, if that makes sense. I think he's thinking more along the lines of, can we do a Switch Lite or something, right? Can we make the Switch cheaper? They already did that in Japan, right? They removed everything pretty much from the Switch, and they're selling it for just over $200 essentially.
Yeah, they did, and I think maybe like you're onto something there, because Pokemon next year, I think there's going to be, even I would even say somewhat even this year, but next year Pokemon, like there's going to be a lot of people who don't, like in Japan at least, that don't want the dock and all that.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of people now that tell me they don't ever dock their Switch. The dock is still in the box right now.
Yeah.
So crazy.
And it's USB-C, and USB-C is becoming more and more common every day. So Nintendo has come out and said, for the most part, if you're charging your Switch, you're not going to brick it. It has to do with video is mixed into the signal. So you're probably not going to brick it with your standard chargers. It'll just drop down 5-volt and charge. So you're probably okay with that. But I think they're trying to figure out, how can we make the system cheaper is really the thing. And it will become cheaper over the years, obviously. Everything mostly does. Like when the 3DS first came out, it was $250. If I told people 3 years later it'll be $80, it's like, oh, cool, okay.
Well, there was a price drop for the Switch in Canada, man.
$20, baby.
Yeah.
It's Canada. Everything's expensive in Canada, though. So.
Yeah.
Games are $80 a pop at launch. Just so nuts.
Man, that's crazy. And it's not like it's super cheap in Canada, like to live everywhere. There are certain parts are, but it's not like everything's like so cheap.
Okay, good. So are we thinking? So we don't think there's going to be any type of, I guess, Switch or new 3DS coming out, new 4DS or whatever. What do you even call it now? I guess it has to be something DS. We don't think they're going to go that route. We think they would rather sell the Switch as a handheld, essentially, straight up without a dock, and make it cheaper. I don't know why they would introduce another handheld if they have their Switch.
I don't think. I think that this is a sort of a shift. I think that I've been saying this for an entire year now, but I definitely think they're going to drop a Switch Mini on us, and the Switch Mini is going to have non-detachable Joy-Cons and be dirt cheap. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it.
So, can I hear it again? Sorry. Can I hear what you guys said? I had to disarm my alarm, or you guys would have heard some lady the whole time in the background. Or arm my alarm, sorry.
We were saying that we don't think there's going to be another 4DS or 3DS or whatever you call it. We think they're going to look at the Switch as their home console, their handheld, and they can sell it as such. So we could get Switches without the dock with a charger, stuff like that. They play around with what it comes with to make it cheaper if they can. I don't know if they'd ever introduced one that has Joy-Cons that don't come off. I don't know if that really makes sense for them. But whatever they can to make it cheaper, I think is what they're thinking of right now.
That would be tough because then you can't do one of the main things that they're always talking about, which is the whole detachable thing. But this is the same company that made 3DS 3D, then literally just said, well, screw 3D.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, like, even if they have a main marketing point, doesn't mean they won't turn their back on it and then just say, oh, well, if you want 2D, do this. If you want 3D, do this.
Or Xbox. The Kinect is the future. What's a Kinect? Like,
yeah, we won't sell the Xbox One without Kinect.
Well, I feel at the time for the 3DS, at least, there were a lot of people who were saying the 3D was fun, but then they just turned it off anyway. So there was already a market.
Kurt and Getsu asked if think we'll see a handheld/smartphone hybrid.
No,
well, we've already got that. A handheld/smart from Nintendo, or just in general.
I think
the smartphones.
It's from Nintendo, maybe the handheld smartphone.
Sony did that before.
Yeah, they did that with the Xperia Play, right?
Yeah, they did. They did that, and a lot of the mobile. Like, I don't know if anybody's gonna do that because a lot of the mobile phones you can attach a controller to it, and just play. So I don't know if anybody's gonna make one like that.
Technically, the Vita could tap into 3G network too.
It is. None of those things sell. That's the problem. It's like that's a product without a market. People want a game or they want to call people and look at porn on their phone. There's like not exactly an extra group that wants to game while having those tabs open.
Sokar says, how much impact will Square's survey have on them? I assume that means that they put out a survey, right, OJ?
Yeah, the Shape the Future survey that they said that they can help. You can win up to $500 in Square Enix store points. Up to 14 people in total will win up to 500. Can win up to 500. So it could be anywhere in between that on their 14 people. And yeah, just basically some stuff about like what games you play, where you play, things like that. Go fill it out. It's till July something, so you get till July. So go fill it out if you want to.
Okay. So we're gonna keep talking here for the last 12 minutes or so. I already have our raid figured out. It's a little different, okay? It's not a typical raid, but I think you guys can work with me on this one. What we are going to do for the next 10 minutes is I've decided we are going to push OJ over 40,000 subscribers.
Hell nuts.
What?
Okay. Hell nuts.
You didn't tell me this.
Yeah, I know. I kind of just came up with it, to be clear.
Okay.
He's at 39,000. I'm gonna put it actually up right here. Let me figure. Hold on, I can figure this out.
Yo, you're too nice, man.
Okay, let me see. There we go. Okay, wait. Yeah, screen share. There we go. That one. Boom. Okay, there it is.
There we go. Easy raid, folks. Easy raid.
Yep, there you go. Okay, so we're gonna push him up over that while we're talking about different stuff, and then I will also have a video up probably a little after we finish up here for the Saturday show. I was gonna put it up beforehand, but I was going to I tried doing that last time and it messed up everything because people were trying to watch this stream and then also watch that, and it was like I'll just put it up afterwards. It'll be a Saturday show that happens to go up on Sunday or something. I don't know, but yeah. So there you go, guys. Oh, Evan, can you drop his channel in the chat?
Guys, I was preparing some type of thing when we did hit it. I got some new channel art that my boy Nobu did. So hopefully you guys like the new channel art for 40,000. So that was kind of my little thing that I did. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, John.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, we have let me see. Oh no, that always happens. Whenever I put mine up one time, people were unsubscribing just to mess with me. But this is a legitimate milestone. Just push it over. He's been working up to this for a little bit now, and I'm like, yeah, let's just get it done.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I really do. Hopefully, like I said, you guys like the new art because I had my boy Nobu do it. Oh, snap!
40K.
Oh, nice. Bunch of you guys just jumped it all at once. It went from like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus.
Seeking subs is easy.
Now, can you guys just keep going till I hit 100,000?
Snap! OG, you had a live stream planned for 40K. Oh man,
It begins
I was
now.
gonna say I just pushed that up a little bit. Sorry.
I have some new art for you guys. So if you guys want, the people who are on my channel, check out the new art. And I have we'll be doing a special live stream. I don't know when, but we'll be doing a special live stream for 40K. We were gonna do a Super Nintendo Classic giveaway, but instead of doing that, we did a Switch giveaway at 200, or sorry, at like 100 sponsors instead of that. So we did that instead, and the guy already won that. So that's what we did. But I'll have some special stuff planned for you guys. And thanks to all the John's crew, man. I appreciate all of you guys, and thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
the community's been really cool.
Evan, did you drop his channel in the chat because people were still asking?
Try, but I was trying to put the Square Enix survey in, and it kept
was it active?
deleting it. It's being really weird right now. But I'll get his channel in. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I just want to drop that because people are still asking before I take it off screen since he got there already. Yeah. So I mean, we've done that. We did that for Max. I think Max at 1 milestone. I think Sean at 1 milestone.
You did that for me at 90,000.
90,000. That's what it was.
Yeah, I was really close. I was like 40 away, and you put it up there, and I got it in like before the end of it.
Yeah. People
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. It's really fun doing what I do. I'm really thankful for all of you guys. Thank you.
We got you, man. J2 Blue $5 says, do you think Insomniac Games could make Sunset Overdrive 2 with the help of 505 Games, similar to how Remedy is doing with Control?
I would love that because I think Sunset Overdrive is one of the best Xbox One games that they've done recently. You know, one of the best. It's one of the best Xbox exclusive games of all time, in my opinion. So I would love to see that.
Okay. Yeah, Sunset Overdrive 2 would be cool. I actually liked the first one, but man, there were people who didn't really like it. It didn't sell well, right?
No, I didn't do that well.
I didn't do that well. Which is weird because it was. I don't understand why people didn't like it.
I don't know. I thought it controlled well enough. I thought it was unique enough. It was very colorful. I just liked the way it looked.
Yeah,
people are still in the vein that visual aesthetic, especially on that console, is something they're not looking for, which sucks because those games are usually pretty awesome. When you sacrifice that much work on textures and character models and stuff, you tend to be able to increase animation and all those other things, which I love in games.
All right, I'm back on screen now.
My only problem with that game is that I thought the writing was a little bit too self-aware. Like every single joke was, I'm leveling up a video game. This is a video game. Like, and it did it so much. Like some quests were great, but then some quests were literally just like, let's have a party. This will be just like, in like 15 gamer references. Like, yeah, okay, but is it? It was fun to play, and I liked the art a lot. Anybody who's hating on the art's an idiot.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I don't know, it was a fun game. I don't know. It was a good time. I would like to see what they could do with maybe a bigger budget and maybe backing from maybe even Microsoft's like, yeah, let's do that again. Let's try it again. Don't Skate 4. Oh, man. People keep doing that to me. I thought that was Skate 4 when they showed Session at the...
Yeah, man, that crashed. Because literally, I almost tweeted out because I was live tweeting that. And when they showed it, I was like, this is Skate 4. And then I like held the tweet. And then I saw the title. I was like, delete. Like,
yeah, man, you can download Session for free on your PC right now. There's a demo. It is a very hard game to play. It's very difficult. It's very tough.
It's a lot easier to just go learn skateboarding. Go become Tony Hawk.
It's weird. Like it uses the shoulder buttons and and the right stick is your right foot and left stick's your left foot. It's weird. I don't know.
I'm still willing to give it a chance.
Dude, go download and play on your PC. It'll play on your laptop fine.
They got to bring back that old skateboard game we found for PS2 where you actually put a board on the 2 analog sticks and use your 2 fingers.
What?
I remember.
Oh, God, that was
the name of it though.
Oh man. Wishbone asks, Xbox 2 has to have exclusives or bust. No Win 10. No, Microsoft's going to continue to do Windows and Microsoft together. I mean, they're going to put Halo on Windows. That's the last straw. Once Halo's there, it's over. Everything goes.
I think there's studios like that. Like I know gamers are upset, diehard Xbox people are upset, but there's no avoiding the fact that the studios are liking this much wider audience. It's now like if you publish an exclusive on Xbox, you also have access to the millions of PC.
Well, I mean, think about when the next generation starts. If they do have a launch day game ready to go like a Fable and it's on PC as well, you're technically not restarting your install base.
Yeah. Which is good and bad. It's going to be good for game sales, but man, I feel like that's going to really hurt opening console sales a lot.
It could, but I will say this, and Evan knows, the people who want to build their PCs are much fewer than people realize in the real world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Evan knows. Evan knows. We could have sold junk if we had RGB and LED lights inside of it, because people just don't know what specs are in computers.
It's true. I paid somebody to fix my computer. I paid somebody to build my computer, and people all the time are like, "What's in your computer?" I'm like, "Dude, it could be sponges and spaghetti," and I want to know.
That's what I mean. There are people who just they don't know and they don't care. They want to play on consoles, and that's fine. Because they want to put it under their entertainment center. They don't want to deal with Windows and viruses and all that stuff. They just want to come home after work, pop a disc in, and play. That's all.
It's always great now with the modern stuff that those arguments for just put a disc in and play are starting to fall to the wayside, because you have to now install and constantly patch, and you're basically just playing on a PC at this point.
Yeah, but you understand it's closed box. It's easier for them to deal with, and stuff. So I get why consoles are interesting to a lot of people. Like I'll just play on my Xbox now, because it's like my computer is more work related now than anything else at this point.
Yeah, same.
I agree. My computer's kind of work related. I've been just, I got a PS4 Pro, and I'll just rather just get stuff on there than, like, I got Sword Art Fatal Bullet on my, on my PC, and I'm like, I'd rather just play it on my PS4 Pro,
Yeah, I'm in front of my PC enough for work. I'm like, I kind of want to turn over here.
I do not game for fun on my computer. This is strictly for work.
I go out to the living. I got a PS4 in my living room too. Sometimes I don't even care about my PS4 Pro, because that's my streaming PS4. Sometimes I'll even play it lesser on my regular PS4 out in the living room, just because I want to just kick back and.
Riku Key 2 says, don't forget the Anime Expo next week. The new Switch might be announced. I think you mean there's a new game that apparently is getting announced at the Anime Expo next week. Is what we're hearing. I just saw it on Twitter before we went live.
A new game from who?
Who was that? It was to tease that there was something new getting announced. I'm trying to remember who it was going to be. But it sounded like it was going to be Nice America. Yes, new games. New games.
Okay.
Yes, and what that means they're probably showing up with something for the Switch.
Maybe Falcom, maybe one of like the Trails of Cold Steel or whatever. Maybe one of their games.
Ooh, I would like that. I would like to see that. I'm gonna be curious about these Ease 8 sales, by the way, on the Switch as well. That's gonna be interesting. Media creates sales chart to follow next week.
The adoption rate seems way higher than I thought. Like, my video got more views than I expected. I kind of thought that it'd be one of those things of, like, because it didn't really blow up the world on PS4. But man, it seems like people are really jumping on Switch.
It's a better Vita version, right? I mean, if you really look at it, it's
yeah.
The Vita's like less than 540p, and it's like,
I think they redid the art of the Vita version, and it was a good move. It works.
Yeah. Ease 8 isn't one of those games that's that's going to be like killer seller, But I mean, if they can pop like 150,000, 200,000, I think they'd be happy with that.
Oh, they'll be psyched with that.
That was like, dude, they would lose their mind, because that studio is really tiny.
That's a good one. That's from Excelsior, saying Legacy of Kain and other Eidos interactive IPs need to be purchased by Microsoft or Google. That would be a good idea to pick up. What if they picked up Legacy of Kain? They're like, here you go, Legacy of Kain fans, go.
Well, do you think they'd just do a remaster of it? I'd love to play that game, because I played them in sequence, and it's awesome.
They could finish, what's that last one, the Legacy Kain of Apocalypse or whatever? That it was like 90% done when the studio got shut down. Someone leaked a bunch of gameplay of it years and years ago. Like, they were gonna finish the Kain series once and for all, and then they just got canceled while they were mostly done. I would love if somebody just came in and actually made that game.
It would be interesting. Defiance ended it well, but I mean, if they had another coming, that would have been sweet.
The biggest problem, real quick, just to kind of go back, the biggest problem is people actually finding Ease. I don't think they shipped a lot of copies of this game. That's the biggest issue right now. Yeah,
the sales will be interesting to see. And then Todd Farrell dropped 20 in the super chat with no message. But thank you, Todd.
Just letting us know, $20. It's fine.
Okay, thank you, Todd. Thank you, I appreciate it. If you meant to type something, feel free to type it into the chat before you leave, so we can read your message. But I think it's 11 o'clock now. I think we're going to be finishing up now. We can go around and everyone can do their outro. What about Max? Max, where can they find you, man?
youtube.com/Dreamcastguy. Stay tuned. Monday, I got a nice video. I'm going to be doing a deep dive about Octopath Traveler's demo. A lot of people have been asking me about it. I put a bunch of hours into it. So I kind of want to talk about my more extended thoughts. So tune into that. I'm also going to be doing a comparison video about the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch now. That's probably the most requested video of the last year, as people have been asking me to like do a head-to-head video of what do I think about these consoles. I have over 500 games now across the three consoles, so people kind of want to know my thoughts. So that's also coming out next week.
Oh, Todd Farrell, I see you there. He said, just had to be the top donator. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you, Todd. Thank you for that. Let's go to OJ. Where can they find you, man?
Yeah, they can find me right here on YouTube, PlayerEssence, also on Twitter at PlayerEssence. So yeah, I cover a lot of anime stuff. I cover a lot of RPGs, cover a lot of action games. I cover PS4, Xbox One, PC, everything, but I mainly a lot of Nintendo Switch stuff as well. So if you're into like upcoming, like we have like Dragon Ball Fighters, I'm gonna be playing that competitively. If you like Smash Brothers, I'm a competitive Smash Brothers player in my scene too. So if you like stuff like that, and also like My Hero Academia, like I'm gonna be playing that game like crazy.
When's that game out again?
It's October. It's October.
Okay, yeah.
It's October. So I'll be covering that. I'm really into that. We also have like anime discussions and stuff. So if you're into all that type of stuff, please check it out. Got some new channel art. And once again, thank you, John, for having me on, and thanks for pushing me over 40K. Appreciate that, guys. Really do.
We got you, man.
So yeah, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, check out the channel if you ever get the opportunity, especially if you like all that stuff that I talked about.
Then we got Sean. Sean, what about you, man? Where can they find you?
In bed with some orange juice and watching the Twilight Zone. I'm just marathoning them. No, you can find me on RGT85. We did a Wolfenstein review. We did a Crash Bandicoot look at, because I don't know. But I looked at all three of the different games, handheld mode and shit like that. Too Many Games stuff was on the channel as well. I got a really cool Game Boy that I've always wanted at the convention. Got some cool stuff there. Yeah, so just RGT85, wherever.
There's a reason I didn't buy that Game Boy Light, by the way, Sean.
Why?
Because I'm building one.
Are you?
Ooh.
Really?
Are you doing the backlight mod?
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a sweet looking Game Boy Pocket, by the way. It's going to be sweet. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna do a video for that in the next week or two. Cold Chill asks real quick, someone needs to buy the rights to Kingdoms of Amalur and remaster it. What happened to Kurt Schilling? He's
that cursed title.
You played it, didn't you, Evan? It's on Steam, I think.
No, I didn't play it, but I know the entire history of it because a friend of mine worked on it at Big Huge Games before they got destroyed as a company, and I was following 38 Studios the whole time leading up to them getting it, and it was just a shit show.
I played that game like crazy. I put over 100 hours.
Some people liked it.
I beat it. No, it's good.
Yeah, aspects of it are interesting, but like it was doomed with the system that was put into it, the people who were put into it. It was not gonna last.
And them taking out like a $3 million loan from Rhode Island to try and finish it, and and then trying to force Rush DLC, and
that almost wasn't even about the game. That company existed for years before they even got that IP and never produced anything. They were just sitting on their asses with some of the top tier talent in the market doing nothing.
Yeah. What about you, Evan? Where can they find you?
You can follow me on my Twitter there. I usually post anything up for streams, doing stuff with this channel. You can keep an eye on Spawnwave because I'm going to be taking a look at this thing in one of the channel updates that we have. I've been playing with it for almost a week now, but I got plans to test it on something else, but I have to wait till the 5th supposedly to do that. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you got something you're going to try it with. That's gonna be interesting. Yep. And then you may be looking at a certain closed beta if you get a chance.
Yep.
So that'll be fun too. I want to hear your thoughts on that closed beta that's going on. Cool. I guess that's everyone, guys. Thanks for joining us. Evan, this was episode, what was it? 65? 65. Nice. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We'll be back next Saturday night to do it all over again. Talk about whatever happens in the week for games and what we played. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.